Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome in. My name is Todd. This is the reaction channel, stream, whatever you want to call it. I hope you had a wonderful weekend, and I know I did. We'll talk a little bit about it shortly. Do we need another Final Destination movie? No. Those movies are enough to scare generations. Absolutely. And I've seen those trucks, those logging trucks driving around with the ads on them, and I'm just like, oh god. Why do we have to bring it into reality? Let's keep it in the movie form, shall we? Anyway, we're going to react to 5 amazing member requested videos through toddreacts.com as we journey around your fandoms one video at a time. And if you would like to request your own and literally guide the stream, you can certainly do so over at toddreacts.com. The season tier gets you 2 video requests per month. Series tier gets you 3 video requests per month. And while you're there, check out the winter collection of merch, which is disappearing quickly. It's going to swap out for the summer collection, which shows up June 1st. June 1st, so it's just over 19 days. We are flying through this year. Does it feel like it? It feels like it. So yeah, lots of great items here. I'm wearing the hooded long sleeve tee, as you can see before you, in heather navy variety. Very inclusive sizing. There's a little size guide here to help you in inches and centimeters, depending on which one you use. And as always, with every order at toddreacts.com, quality is guaranteed. If there's a print error or visible quality issue, it'll be replaced or refunded. I like to bring attention to that because it is an amazing guarantee. I like the fact that I'm able to say that and live it, which is awesome. As you can see, there's lots of other items there as well. I usually don't scroll through all of them, so I'm going to make a point to do so. There you go. And the accessories, those don't leave. Those just get added to. Maybe I swap a few out every once in a while, but usually they're just added to. Rocks glass is here in front of me. Little energy drink in there. 10.5 ounce glass. It's slightly smaller than a 12 ounce glass because it is meant for, well, you know what it's meant for. It's not meant for an energy drink, but you can put whatever you want in there. You know, just is what it is. And of course, right next to me to keep my ice water nice and icy, got the insulated tumbler in the mint variety. There you go. Hand wash on those. Got many different color options: black, navy, white, pink, of course. Whichever one floats your boat, as they say. And lots of other great options here. I actually use this water bottle every day at work. So it is getting it's been run through the paces for sure. I actually have it in this desert sunrise color. I don't know. I like it. Nice orangey kind of color. Obviously, there's many different colors to choose from. I always make sure, you know, to select more colors to choose from. It just gives you more options. And frankly, I don't know what colors you're into. You could have a very interesting, you know, favorite color and might not be mine, but I want to make sure it's available. At least a shade of it for you. Ironically, the one is about families. Oh, wow. Bloodlines going after the generations. Oh, geez. Oh, no. Oh, that's brutal. That's going to be absolutely traumatic for an entire family. Oh, come on, kids. Let's go check out this new movie. You know, it was a big thing back in my day. And it just scares the whole family. The drive home is just silent. Dinner is silent. The rest of the weekend is silent. If you're already there, go ahead and hit the subscribe button on the Todd Reacts YouTube channel. I appreciate it. Let's see, over 13,800 of you have already hit it. I appreciate that greatly. Doesn't mean anything monetarily, but it is a nice way to tell the algorithm that, hey, I like this channel. I like these videos. I want to see more of them. Pop them up on my home feed. I usually stick to my home feed. If that's how you view YouTube, just kind of stick to the home feed. Very important that you hit the subscribe button. And there's over 1,100 videos there. If you're watching live via Twitch and had no idea this is YouTube related, that's where it started. That's where it will end. There's over 1,100 videos there. Crazy amount. I went through quite a patch of doing 2 videos a day for every day of the week. No Sundays off. That was that was quite something. If you were here for that, that was definitely something. You were probably getting notifications like crazy, but you've got quite a bit of backlog there. If you haven't checked it out already, go ahead and check it out. And last but certainly not least, I didn't forget about it. The Discord. Available for free. The link is everywhere. It's on the website. It's under every video. It's on the Twitch profile. It's on the YouTube profile. It's everywhere. Free to join. Over 220, I think 7 members at this point. Lots of great conversations being had. 226. Amazing. That is very cool. So friendships have been made. No enemies that I'm aware of. No enemies. No, it's a very nice, cordial place. If you've spent any time in the YouTube comments, you realize, these are actually quite positive as opposed to what they usually look like, which is a cesspool. So if you enjoy the YouTube comments and you enjoy the tone of the YouTube comments, you probably would enjoy the Discord. So go ahead and check it out. Definitely open to, as many interesting conversations as you're willing to have. And if you don't see a channel on there that you're really into, maybe it's something that you're, very passionate about, nobody's talking about it yet, you can just hit the request a channel and just type in what you want, and then we'll make it for you. And you could start conversations with people that are fans of it as well. As you can see, we got a lot of different fandoms here. A ton of different fandoms. And then community channels as well, just for fun and randomness. So go ahead and check it out today. And as you can see at the top, I always like to point this out because it is kind of cool. It tells you when I'm live. And it literally says happening now, which it is. And it gives you a nice little link here. And if you have the Twitch app, download it on your mobile device. It'll actually open the app. And if you don't, it'll just open a browser, go to the stream from there. Super handy. I do update that quite frequently. If I need to miss one or reschedule a stream or anything like that, it'll be updated in the events section. You can rely on that. If you're looking for updates, maybe you didn't see a video populate on a Monday or a Friday or whatever, this would be the place to go for any sort of updates or news or anything like that. So check it out. Lots of great people in there. You'll see them in the chat. They're lovely people. It's been a wonderful experience. And what did I get up to this weekend? Why am I showing you why am I showing you food right now? I went to a restaurant. It's called Chili's. You might have heard of it. You might not have. It is a very casual fare restaurant. Very, very casual. It is almost a sports bar in a way. They got TVs and usually some sort of sporting event is playing. Probably have something similar near you. And what I ordered was this. And you've probably seen memes or TikToks or whatever of the triple dipper, which is just sort of the meal of the moment currently. It seems like it just blew up, got very popular. It's been around. It's been around for quite a few years. Maybe they took it away. Maybe they brought it back. They're trying to, make it explode virally. But yeah, it's not bad. I actually got one. I think it was about like $17 US dollars. So it's not inexpensive. You could definitely use it as an entree if you're not looking to get too full. Maybe you eat less than I do, which chances are you do. But I was feeling pretty good. I was like, you know what? I'm not too full, but this is like a very normal amount of food. Like I didn't go crazy. But I saw this post about what happened to restaurants post-pandemic and venture capitalist groups. Venture capitalist groups and the pandemic really killed everything good in this world. Everything. Pick literally anything that used to be good and it isn't good nowadays. Chances are cuts, through, shutting down of restaurants, shutting down of businesses, whatever. Kind of rose prices. You saw a bit of price. I would call it price gouging, honestly. Venture capitalist groups buying up all these chains, restaurants, and whatnot. And it's really been kind of sad. So you could probably think of any chain restaurant, and it's probably owned by some sort of capitalist group, venture capitalist group, food group, usually fast food, casual dining, and it's pretty sad. We have something in the U.S. here called Whataburger, based in Texas, and it used to be just the rave of everybody that ever had it. It was a fast food place, and then it got bought out by a Chicago venture capitalist firm, I think a couple of years ago, and the amount of conversations I've had with people that have said that this thing that everybody loved and just it was beloved and whatnot has just gone down the drain because it's no longer locally owned. It's no longer in the hands of somebody who, saw it from the beginning and really put their heart and soul into it and expanded it and all that stuff. And you're just like, I get it. I understand why you would sell to a venture capitalist group. Maybe you're looking to get paid and get out of it. Maybe you're getting older. Maybe you're looking for something else to do. Maybe you just want to sit back and rest on your laurels and invest in other companies, basically. Become a venture capitalist yourself. That happens all the time. But another part of me is like, why would you? I get it. I understand it. But the other part of me is like, would you be able to, if you put that much time and effort into something, and it's like basically your baby in a way, like your company, you worked hard on it, you came up with the ideas, all that stuff. If you did that much for this, wouldn't it grind on you to see it kind of diminish or overexpand or, quality goes down or they change it to a point where it's unrecognizable? To me, maybe that's just me. I would look at that and go, what did I do? Money wise, bank account wise, it probably feels pretty good. But I think if you're somebody that's willing to not be in a 9 to 5 and clock in, clock out, and just risk it all and go for this idea that you had, how do you not let that affect? I'm assuming it would, right? I'm assuming it would. But it's very interesting. The meat quality is what I noticed the most. Oh my gosh. You want to talk about meat quality? Those are two words that should not be used in the same sentence when talking about anything fast food or casual food. Oh my gosh. If it's not farm to table and it's, frozen and additives and God knows what else they put in there. I remember the McDonald's pink slime or whatever. Oh, in the nuggets, and they had to release a video. No, this is how our nuggets are made. And everyone's just like, we don't believe you. Oh gosh. And then Taco Bell had that news story of 30% of the meat is actually meat and the rest is just seasoning. Very picky about meat, and I used to always feel safe eating both. Now I've had weird meat too many times I can't go back. Well, if you're picky about meat, you probably should not be at a restaurant unless you're paying like crazy amounts of money. Like clearly the meat's not going to be that good. Like they got to have profit margins somewhere, and they're going to scrimp on the meat for sure. American chicken is chlorinated. Oh my gosh. What has been allowed to happen with American, like US diets over God knows how many years, decades, is just criminal. It is absolutely criminal. The food dyes. I'm not even talking about the chicken. How about just putting coloring into food that's made from like petroleum products? Like what? What are we doing here? What are we doing? I can't eat too much meat in America. It generally makes me ill. Yeah, I'm not surprised, honestly. If there's such a thing as like cloned animal meat, it's probably going to happen here first. It is absolutely going to happen here first, if it hasn't already. Or GMO meat. Oh gosh, it's so brutal. I say this as a person that works with cows. Fast food is not the place to go for good quality meat. Yeah, absolutely. Oh my gosh. Yeah. If you're very picky, like this person is about meat, you're in the wrong atmosphere there. Perfect username for vegetable comfort. Chili's is crushing every other restaurant right now. That is true. They had quite a comeback. Not that long ago, right around the pandemic, or even before the pandemic, these casual chains were getting destroyed because fast food was just cheaper, much cheaper. And ever since the pandemic, like McDonald's pricing went up like 120% to the point where now it costs like the same amount of money to get a Big Mac meal as it does to sit down at Chili's and get some sort of like burger, fries, maybe even a side on top of it for the same price. And you can't argue that McDonald's is better than Chili's. No, like not even close. Like the meat quality is not the best, but better than McDonald's. McDonald's is those frozen hockey pucks that they ship in a cardboard box. You guys use so much stuff we had banned years ago. Yeah, it is brutal. Brutal. I don't even know all of it, all the facts, but all I know is this. Food coloring from chemicals should never be allowed near food. Like, how does that make sense? And then part of me is like, wait a minute. The people overseeing that, isn't it the FDA? Food and Drug Administration? Food and Drug. Food and drug. Like, these two things should probably not be related in any way. Like, you shouldn't be looking over, both of these items. Like, food should probably be extremely strict, only quality. Yeah, you can cut a couple corners, but nothing crazy, right? Should probably not have that much conflict of interest when you're overseeing food. Oh my gosh, it is brutal. Cheesecake is the only restaurant that broke into the Forbes 100. Oh, Cheesecake Factory. I've only been once. It was pretty good. I wouldn't call that casual, though. It's a little bit more expensive. It is a chain restaurant, but it is a more expensive chain. Stopped ordering because of that reason. Yeah, I mean, and the prices vary on where you are. It's $18 in California, $14.50 to $15.50 in the Midwest. That's so. Well, I guess it makes sense, right? Higher salaries, higher earnings in those areas, you make it more expensive. Like the housing. Triple Dipper's great. More expensive, but I still get it. 4,000 calories for $18 is pretty good. That's 2 to 3 days of food for most people. Oh my God, that's so many calories. You could probably say that about US diets as well. It's very high calorie. It's extremely high calorie and not good calories. We're talking fake calories, like terrible calories for you. Oh my gosh, 4,000 calories, $15. Chili's is garbage at any price. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it's fine dining, certainly. Welcome to the idea of restaurants. Every restaurant you go to gives you as little food as they can get away with while charging you as much as they can. and paying their staff as little as possible. Yeah, that's brutal. The wages for staff at restaurants is crazy here. Relying on tips and everything, the whole thing. If you're not from the US and you come to the US, that is probably a pretty interesting experience, having to get asked to be tipped at every occurrence. Every occurrence there's any sort of food, drink, or anything like that. It is quite the culture shock, if you will. If you haven't been to the US and you're planning on it, just get ready. Get ready to tip. And it's expected. It's not optional. It's expected. That's the crazy part. I'm doing tips. I don't get it. Yeah. It is interesting. It is very interesting. All right. Let's see here. So, we do have 5 amazing member requested videos to go through. We're going to start with a General Hospital video. This is about Emily Quartermain, I believe. And then we're going to a Flash video, The Flash. This is between Barry and Caitlin. And then we have a 911 edit that we're going to watch about relationships. Should be interesting. And then we're going to do a YinWar TikTok compilation. And then we will end stream and kick off the week. I think most of you are out of school at this point, right? If you're in school, maybe finals are happening. I'm not exactly sure. I think it's finals season in a way. But we're going to end it with an AmazingPhil video. Been very funny. I've been, watching, reacting to quite a few Dan videos and some Phil and Dan videos. So it's going to be interesting to do just AmazingPhil, learn more about them and all that good stuff. And of course, shout out to the mods who put in a lot of hard work, and it is greatly appreciated. They come up with all the information you see and will see today. Rocco, Kitty, Jace, and Luke, appreciate all your work. I'll give you a shout out to begin with. And yeah, let's go ahead and start on the first one. It is Emily Quartermain Fight Song. Oh gosh. This song is so overplayed. Oh Lord. One of the Discord members, kiddos, had a prom last Friday. Wow. Cool. Oh my gosh, prom. It was many moons ago for me. Many moons. That's awesome though. That is very cool. Oh yeah, I guess high schoolers get out a little later than university. I think that's how it goes. I can't remember. It's been so long. I think it has. I think it does. They do it in steps, pretty sure. Just like spring break is a little different. A couple weeks in between. Go ahead and bring that up. Right. Boom. There you go. The quality of this thumbnail makes it look like it's from 1987? 1987. Say. I think so. Probably the 90s.
Like a small boat on the ocean, sending big waves into motion, like how a single word
deep fried
can make a heart open. I might only have one match, but I can make an explosion. And all those things I didn't say will make a noise inside my brain. I will scream loud tonight. Can you hear my voice this time? This is my fight song. Take back my life song.
Interesting. I guess that's to be expected. Oh, jeez. That got scary quick. Everybody's got a gun.
I still got a lot of fight left in me. Losing friends and I'm chasing sleep. Everybody's worried about me. In too deep. I say I'm in too deep. And it's been 2 years. I miss my home, but there's a fire burning in my bones.
Oh, that got a quality upgrade. Dang.
Yeah, I still believe.
Transition from standard to high def is such an interesting one.
Wrecking balls inside my brain. I will scream loud tonight.
Like somebody pulled the
My voice, this
cheesecloth
is my
from your eyes. You're just like, whoa.
my life song. Prove I'm alright song. My power's turned on. Starting right now, I'll be strong. I'll play my fight song.
Oh my gosh.
And I don't really care if nobody
Been through it.
believes.
This is my friend again, and I'll rip those whole lips right off your face.
No, I've still got
Oh my
a lot of fight
gosh.
left in me.
That was. You know, I should see this coming. It is a soap opera. It does have a lot of varying storylines, but I just didn't see the violence coming from. The violence coming from Emily. Wow. Very interesting. Dang. That was intense. Guns. Just that slap. Watch that again. That was something. That was brutal. Oh my, the wind up on this.
This is my friend
Oh my god. Jeez. Go ahead and throw that some love. Not the slap. The video. Go ahead and
again.
throw this link in the chat for those watching live. Boom. Should work. There it is. Wow. Go ahead and look into some information on Emily and what all went down there, because that was a bit much. That was a bit much. Originated in 95. Okay, it was the 90s. Okay. Different actors, of course. Character's death in 2007. Made a surprise return for the show's 50th anniversary, appearing in 2013. Oh boy. Now, every time I've read a plot for one of these General Hospital, etc., soap operas, they get crazy fast, and they're all over the place. So here we go. Meets Emily's mother, Paige, while the two women are undergoing treatment for breast cancer. After Paige dies, Monica and her husband became Emily's guardians. Initially resistant to being adopted by the couple, Emily runs away with Lucky in search of her estranged aunt. The two return, and Emily agrees to let the Quartermains adopt her. Okay, well, that's not too bad. Obviously, it's terrible that Paige died. When Monica has an affair with Dr. Pierce, hello, Emily turns to drugs with her new friend Matt Reynolds. Pierce sues Monica for harassment. Emily's cousin Ned discovers Emily's addiction. After Matt overdoses, Pierce is revealed to be the drug supplier and is soon murdered. Initially considered a suspect, Emily is eventually cleared and embarks on a new career in modeling. Okay, all right. Little rough patch there, but, turned a new leaf. Emily finds herself the subject of a blackmail attempt. Oh, never mind. When she receives a photograph of her head photoshopped onto the body of a nude model. Wow. That was a deep fake back in the day. She enlists the help of Lucky, his half-brother, Nicholas, and their mutual friend, Elizabeth. They discover the culprit is photographer Tom Baker, also responsible for forcing himself on Elizabeth. He is prosecuted, sent to prison for blackmailing Emily due to lack of evidence, cannot be prosecuted for forcing himself on Elizabeth. 99, Emily met Juan, a teenager from Puerto Rico. Juan believes local mobster Sonny is his biological father. To learn singer Miguel is his father instead. Emily, who has harbored romantic feelings for Nicholas, begins dating Juan. Wait a minute. A teenager? Hopefully late teenager, right? Yeah, she got clean fast. Wait a minute. How old is she at this point? In 99. Boy, that's its own thing. Despite disapproval from Monica and Alan, Juan eventually receives permission from his family to stay in Port Charles. Oh boy. Sounds young teen. Permission from family to stay in Port Charles. Alan and Monica grow to accept the relationship. Wanting to follow in his father's footsteps as a singer, Juan secures a recording contract run by Ned. Emily's grandfather attempts to sabotage a performance by Ned in order to lure Ned back to ELQ, the family business. Emily's overjoyed when Juan is well received as an opening act. Okay. While attending a rave with their friends, Juan and Emily get into a fight, leading to Juan kissing socialite Allison. Oh, gee. Emily spies the kiss. So she saw them kissing? Spies the kiss. Accepts a drugged beer from a stranger. Oh, boy. Oh, that clean thing kind of ended. Strikes up a conversation with a man named Ted, later stunned when she awakes the next morning to find herself bare in a bed next to Ted, who has been murdered. Oh my God. Whoa. Elizabeth, Lucky, and Nicholas agree to help and hide Ted's body in a freezer. Nicholas is, well, that's something. Nicholas is, the teamwork, though, Teamwork. Nicholas's family estate on Spoon Island. Emily is then blackmailed by Gia, who knows Emily was with Ted before he died. Uh-oh. Gia claims she is innocent in regards to Emily's blackmail. Emily guilt grows when she learns Ted was an undercover police officer. Oh boy. Begins to push Juan away. Well, he did help her hide the body, of course, so he's not a good person. But oh no, she was pushing Juan away probably to keep him safe. And her friends learned Gia was actually attempting to blackmail Emily over her drug usage at the rave, not Ted's murder. Oh. Friends convince Gia to help track down Ted's killer. She points them in the direction of drug dealer Xander. Place Ted's body in Xander's trunk. Oh my gosh. So they got the body again? Oh. Okay. Xander takes Emily hostage. To flee from the police, Emily learns Xander had been working as an unethical mob boss. Place to hit on Xander for the problems he created when she starts to develop romantic feelings for her kidnapper. Oh, boy. Chooses to stay with him rather than escape. Oh, boy. Emily and Xander are tracked to the Canada-U.S. border by her brother, mafia enforcer who works for Sorrel's rival Sonny. Convinces him to let Xander cross without interference. Returns to Port Charles, okay. And is stunned when Xander arrives at her window asking her to run away with him. She declines over the objections of her family. Ethical mob bosses? That is a great question. Great question. I don't believe so. No. They might think they are, but probably not, right? Over the objections of her family, continues to spend time with him. Also breaks up with Juan. She was with Juan. Oh, boy. Who later leaves town. Honestly, I think Juan escaped that one. Let's see here. Xander's freed. He and Emily, Sonny, and Alexis find themselves the target of a gunman. Though Xander was wounded attempting to protect Emily, the Quartermains decide to send her to boarding school to protect her. Honestly, probably the best situation there. Xander finds Emily at her school. Oh boy. The two run away together. Ugh. When Edward learns that the two have returned, he has Xander arrested. Alexis bails him out, has him move in with her. Emily leaves the mansion and moves into the boarding house above Kelly's restaurant. Xander successfully testifies against Sorrel, but finds himself in trouble with the law again after Edward is mugged, and indicates Xander is the culprit. In exchange for Edward dropping the charges, Emily agrees to break up with Xander. So it's the classic rich girl goes for the bad boy. The classic tale as old as time. Xander attempts to return to his roots as a drug dealer. Okay, all right. Returning to his roots. That's wholesome. But realizes how much he loves Emily. The two reunite and make love for the first time on her prom night. Speaking of prom, Emily is then shocked when Skye arrives in Port Charles and reveals that Skye is Alan's illegitimate daughter from a dalliance with Dr. Rick Cummings, making Skye the oldest Quartermain child. Interesting. Emily and Xander leave town. Jealous of Alan's relationship with Emily, agrees to give them money. Xander and Emily leave by train. Train is involved in an accident. Of course it is. Emily is paralyzed from the waist down. What is going on in this story? Emily leaves for rehab center. 2001. Recovered from her injuries. Hides the fact that she developed breast cancer. Decides to forego chemotherapy, believing it killed her mother, and opts for a herbal protocol. Oh boy. That's the Steve Jobs approach. Emily tells Monica and Alan about her diagnosis to hide her prognosis from Xander, and believing she is going to die, Emily asks an initially reluctant Nicholas to pretend to fake a romantic relationship with her in order to push Xander away and spare him watching her die. That was about as, bumpy a roller coaster as I was expecting, honestly. I'm not going to read it all, but I wanted to get a little taste, It's always interesting to see where these soap operas kind of just jump from one to the other to the other. And it's just one hurdle after another. Another. Oh my gosh. All right, so this is 6 important characters that should return from the dead. So, newsflash, Emily is dead. Emily Quartermain, this one is a no-brainer, especially because Emily's audience repelling death at the hands of an already forgotten serial killer was followed by yet another awful story turn in which viewers learned that Emily had a long-lost twin named Rebecca. Also, Emily died off-screen, so that helps. If they don't die on screen, you could technically write them in, maybe they were kidnapped, or maybe they, left and went on the run and now they're back, kind of thing. Let's find out that Rebecca is really Emily, then exhale and get on with things. She's a legacy character who came to the canvas during the story of Dr. Monica Quartermain's heroic battle with breast cancer, one of the most important in the history of the show. Emily deserves better, so does Monica. We do too. I wonder why they wrote off that character. Kind of odd. General Hospital spoilers. Emily returns to welcome Monica as she crosses over. Oh, it was written last month. General Hospital spoilers reveal that with Monica Quartermain's health reportedly declining off-screen, longtime fans are bracing themselves for an emotional farewell. As one of the most beloved matriarchs in Port Charles, Monica's departure will mark the end of an era, one filled with heartbreak, triumph, and unwavering strength. But in true GH fashion, her possible crossing over might come with a touch of the extraordinary. Fans are gushing about the possibility of a heavenly reunion, and all the eyes are on one name in particular, Emily Quartermain. There you go. I had no idea they had extraordinary crossing over events. News to me. For decades, Monica has been the glue holding the Quartermain family together, balancing her career, complicated family drama. Yeah, I would say that's pretty complicated, what we just read. And unimaginable losses with poise and compassion. Though her appearances have been limited in recent years due to off screen circumstances, Monica's presence continues to be deep felt. Yeah, I mean, as these actors start to get a little older, obviously things are going to get in the way. It's a fact of life. The show is preparing for her final send off. Viewers can expect a storyline rich in heart, history, and meaningful goodbyes. As the people of Port Charles gather to honor her, Monica's final moments could also be a chance to revisit the families she's lost over the years, especially the daughter she never stopped mourning. Emily's death in 2007 was one of the hit Sudsers. What? One of the hit Sudsers. Most gut-wrenching moments, and her absence has been felt ever since, though the show has brought her back in visions, dreams, and special episodes. Fans have long wished for one final reunion between mother and daughter. Monica truly is nearing the end. Now could be the perfect time to bring Emily back, if only for a moment. Whether portrayed by returning Natalia or another actress in a spiritual cameo, Emily could be the one to guide Monica into the afterlife, offering a warm, familiar presence in Monica's most vulnerable moment. Well, if she's already been doing special episodes, dreams, visions, it makes sense, right? Not that big of a stretch. General Hospital has a rich history of weaving the spiritual into its most poignant goodbyes. I had no idea that was a thing. From Alan Quartermain's appearances after death to Edward Quartermain and Lila Quartermain watching over the whole Q clan, the show has never shied away. I've never seen it spelled like that. Never shied away from honoring its fallen with dignity and heart. Kind of interesting how it has a bit of a religious overtone to it. A scene with Monica peacefully crossing over in some fashion and being greeted by Emily would be full circle, not just for Monica, but for the audience that loved both characters for decades. As for the Quartermains bracing another loss, viewers may find solace in knowing that Monica's story could end not in sorrow, but in reunion. Whether it's about love, healing, or sheer entertainment, 3 performances could define this year's Nurses Ball. So grab your tissues, turn up the volume, and prepare for an unforgettable night where anything can and usually does happen in Port Charles. Yeah, I would definitely say a lot happens there. Emily Quartermain returns to General Hospital, sort of. Celebrate a cultural milestone. Trip back to my acting roots on the set of the iconic daytime show in its 60th. Began my acting career young, like young Sheldon level young, and appeared as an uncredited background actor in a few small films before landing a leading role on the iconic soap opera General Hospital at the age of 10. Wow. I remember walking into the casting building located at the ABC Studios lot in LA for my first audition to play Emily Bowen Quartermain, surrounded by young girls who looked similar to me. That's got to be so weird. That's got to be so strange. Everybody kind of looks the same or has similar features, and they're going for a specific kind of look, and you're just looking around, and it just looks like there's your clone everywhere. Am I going to be the best me? Basically. Longtime casting director Mark played my scene partner during the audition reading, and though I had no experience, he loved my performance enough to have me come back and read again. In the business, this is referred to as a callback. For the brilliant and lovely Wendy Rich, who was showrunner of GH at the time. As Wendy and Mark tell it, I won their hearts and the role, not just with my young acting chops, but by ending the audition by reading a poem I had written. I'm not sure why I decided to read a poem that day, and even though it was definitely a precocious move on my part, I loved it so much that I did it unprompted, that even at the tender age, I knew exactly the kind of dimension and depth I held and wanted to share that with this world. I was so proud of my writing as a young poet, not a drop of fear or hesitation in me, as if to say that these two titans of daytime television, yes, I can cry on cue, but also get a load of this adolescent feminist iambic pentameter. I must make it clear, dear reader, that I did not, in fact, say these words for real. I wasn't that precocious. It's worse if you're the only one that doesn't look similar. Yeah, that's a good point. Like you're the one person that they pick to not be, maybe like, oh, maybe somebody like this will fit the role. So we'll just invite somebody that looks different. Oh gosh. It was that lack of fear or hesitation as a young actor that would turn what was originally supposed to be a 3-month recurring role into a 7-year full-time gig. One of my best acting experiences I've ever had in my career. I mean, that's not surprising. Most actors don't go on to just continue going. I'm assuming it's very similar to professional sports where you get a certain window and maybe you turn it into a lifetime career, maybe you don't. I'm assuming the numbers of people that are able to turn that into a lifetime career is very small. I'm pretty sure, there are those actors that we see in roles that we're like, oh, that was really good. And then you never see them again. You're just like, whatever happened to such and such? The actors I worked with or even didn't work with, but knew from set were all like extended family to me and cherished my time working there. Through the turmoil of my preteens and teenage years, that's tough. You're going through so much, and then you're on like national television as well. Like your body's changing, your voice is changing, mentality, what you're into, and then also as all of that's going on, you're being filmed and put in front of a national audience. Like that's a lot of pressure. I'm not surprised a lot of people have issues with that, the childhood acting and whatnot. They took care of me on set and off. They let me have sleepovers at their houses and took me to see my favorite bands at the Roxy to give my parents a break. Here's looking at you, Kimberly McCullough. They were my teachers, my friends, and when needed, my authority figures. So when at the end of 2023, more than 2 decades after I had left the show to pursue other acting opportunities, Mark, casting director, emailed me to see if I wanted to be a part of the 60th anniversary special celebrating the show's legacy. The answer was a resounding yes. I might be crazy. This might be a hot take, but if my 10-year-old wanted to go to concerts and stuff with adult actors on the show, I would just be like, no. I don't know. Call me crazy. I would probably shy away from that. Maybe that's in hindsight, with the current era of knowing what Hollywood is like, but that's a little much for me. Soap operas are a beloved cultural staple in the U.S., just as the telenovela is in Latin America. If you're a millennial or older, extremely likely you grew up with a family member that watched their favorite soap opera in the afternoons, and therefore so did you. My mom was never into soap operas. I don't know why. She was more into sports, which is probably why I connected with her so much. But I did catch them from time to time if I was homesick or whatever. I'd just be flipping through the channels, Price is Right, Bob Ross, The Joy of Painting, Jerry Springer, and then maybe I catch a little bit of a, soap opera here and there. It was not much. It was definitely not much. I think maybe it was a more innocent time then. Yeah, probably, honestly. You may have watched your mom or grandma's favorite soap when you were homesick from school. There you go. And the high drama of a soap storyline felt as healing as chicken soup. Honestly, for me, that was The Price is Right and Joy of Painting with Bob Ross. That was just, it was like audio blanket is what that was. Or it may have been completely by accident as an adult sitting in a doctor's office waiting room when the mesmerizingly handsome and emotionally powerful Maurice Bernard, Sonny on GH, was either killing someone or kissing someone. You were immediately hooked for life. We love soap operas because they are a form of entertainment that promise long-term consistency and a form of intimacy with characters in a world and television landscape that often feels unstable and disconnected. I mean, yeah, that is by far the biggest appeal of soap operas. Number one, you know it's going to be on. It's going to last probably your entire life. I mean, that one, is it General Hospital that's been on for like 70 years or something? You know it's going to be on for a long time, and you know the stories are just going to keep you hooked because there's no peace. Soap operas know no peace. It's just war at all times. We can count on soap operas to give us exactly what we want, our favorite characters and their wild, crazy, jaw-dropping lives 5 days a week at the exact same time every day with storylines that unfold not in disjointed seasons or after lengthy hiatuses, but in continuous year-round arcs, just like real life. Grow up with our favorite soap opera characters. We get married just as they are getting divorced. We lose loved ones at the same time. We've been there with them, or rather, they've been there with us right in our living rooms. As the most heart-wrenching, outlandish things have happened in their lives, affairs, murders, drugs, alien abductions. We love soaps and characters that exist on them because, even in the most melodramatic of ways, their struggles are our struggles. But their wins are our wins. Their grief is our grief. And together we share in all of it, year in, year out, for as long as we want to. You don't have to be gutted that your favorite soap is going to be canceled like your favorite show was just after one season. Netflix. Soap operas are reliable, wild fun, giving us everything we need that real life sometimes cannot. 60 years? Boy, that's a long time. That's crazy. Longest running soap, I believe, is the UK's Coronation Street. Started in 1960. Wow. That is awesome. It's really cool. That is neat. I love it. Very similar, obviously, is, Doctor Who's been on forever. James Bond movies have been being made forever at this point. Like, it's nice to have things that last. You can put your mind at ease that they're not being canceled like tomorrow. When I entered the GH building at the end of last year, I ran into so many actors and old friends I hadn't seen in years, reminded of the ones who had passed away. Oof, that's got to be rough. Smiling faces on posters that line the hallways. Met up with Mark, the casting director, in his office where he pointed to the seat across from his desk and said, right there, sitting in that seat is where you stole my heart. Referring to where I was seated when I did my audition all those years before. Took me over to meet the showrunner before leading me to the same hair and makeup room where I had gotten dolled up and ready to shoot my scenes for so many years as a teenager. Still looked like it just did when I was younger. The mirrors lined with holiday cards from cast members, today's call sheet with all the scenes marked up with notes, enough curling irons, round brushes, and blow dryers to make dry bar look like an amateur operation. From there, Mark and I went up to stage, my old stomping ground. I watched a Christmas scene being shot with Jeannie, Maurice, Rebecca, and John, all that I'd known so long ago. Stage manager was still there. That's cool.
Y'all, this is so surreal. I am here on the ABC lot, walking over to General Hospital, my old alma mater, to go do something fun. This is Mark Teschner. This is the man who discovered me here at ABC at General Hospital. I'm coming by to say hi.
And you turned out really well.
I turned out okay.
Oh, Lincoln, you miss him. Spencer, I saw him. Doctor Who was canceled in the 80s and brought back. Well, that's right. Something tells me when it was canceled, people were freaking out like bad. Obviously, the internet wasn't as huge and widely available. Can you imagine if it was canceled today? Social media would be on fire. Oh my gosh. Teen Beat. Teen Beat. Jeez. Frosted Tips. Frosted Tips. Classic. That's cool. That's really neat that she wrote this Substack. Very, very neat. I like that. This weekend's episode was so good, they better not cancel it. You know, I would love to say it's probably improbable, but, you know, current entertainment, right? I don't think it will be, of course. Boy, at this point, you can never say never. Because it already has happened once. If it happened once, it can happen again, but I think the odds of it happening are pretty low. Which is good. Which is very good. Go ahead and move into the next one. This is Barry and Caitlin, Kryptonite. This is from The Flash. How can I be your hero if I can't save myself from you? You're my kryptonite. So the editor said, I poured a lot of emotions into this, mostly because I was contemplating whether it should be my last Snowberry edit. Came to the conclusion that it won't. Love these two so much, and to be honest, just because I'm not watching the show doesn't mean I have to quit vidding them. I feel I should let you know that I'm going to focus more on other couples shows in the future, but I really hope that you don't unsubscribe for me because of that. Well, if they enjoy her edits, I would assume that they'll... But yeah, dang. Let's go ahead and load this up. Snowberry.
How can I be a hero if I can't save myself from you? You're my
Scar tissue is a lot more sensitive than regular tissue.
This isn't you.
It is now.
Oh. New year, new me.
Sometimes great possibilities are right in front of us, and we don't see them because we choose not to.
Don't let Iris see this.
Because of Caitlin.
Kryptonite's the wrong hero, though. True.
You're gonna be okay.
I honestly don't know. I am the future Flash.
And I'm the present Todd.
Yes. It's not gonna bring your Caitlin back. Where are you? There's no answer. I will do anything you want. Please don't do this to her.
You told me you were dead.
I'm not. I'm right here.
We're a team, right? Barry and Caitlin
Checks out.
at it again.
You're not Caitlin. And I'm not Barry.
Frost! That cannot happen again!
What, now you're telling me how to feel?
I have 7 weeks to teach you how to handle this kind of situation. You have to start listening.
You have to stop being such a crappy teacher.
Not everybody's a good teacher.
Go.
No, we're not abandoning you.
Give him hell, Flash!
I gotta say, it's kind of hard to piece this together when it's multiverse.
I had lost faith.
We're like, wait, what's happening?
Just about everything.
You saved my life, Barry. I don't want to say goodbye.
Dang, she got him to cry.
I'm sorry, Caitlin.
Ooh. Fade to black. Emotional. That was definitely emotional. Lots of emotions. Go ahead and throw that some love. Link down below in the YouTube description for the original. Go throw out some love as well. Check out their channel. They might have other videos and edits that tickle your fancy, as they say. I'll throw that in the Twitch chat for those of you watching live. There it is. All right, let's pull up some information on Snowberry. An interesting pairing, I would say. Quick breather on The Flash. 2014. It was the spin-off of Arrow, I guess you could say. Existing in the same fictional universe known as the Arrowverse. Ran for 9 seasons. Good show if it lasts 9 seasons. Became the second most watched pilot in the history of CW after The Vampire Diaries in 2009. Been well received by critics and audiences, multiple awards, etc. There were 84 episodes. Pretty consistent in viewerships for the first couple seasons. Obviously, it tailed off at the end, but that's to be expected. It's kind of hard to keep viewership towards the later parts of the series, especially if you're working on like a decade, you know? What's going on, Isaram? What's going on? What's going on? Left The Flash in season 3. That makes me want to keep watching. It probably does, honestly. Good at it can do that. Yeah, absolutely. Just like last stream with Twinkling Watermelon. That blew me away. That was 15 minutes of just incredible story. I was just like, what? Not only have I never heard of this, it is fascinating. A great story. Oh my gosh. Completely blew me away. If you did not see that edit in the last stream, go check it out. It is amazing. Only saw Barry in his first episode of Arrow not long before I fell behind on the show. Honestly, it is difficult to keep track of all these shows, especially if they're working on like almost a decade of being on. Like, it is tough. It is absolutely tough. And almost, you know, in the current era, it's very enticing, or maybe it's the right way to do it, is to just let it air, watch something else, and then when the full series gets posted, you can finally go through it at your own pace, right? Instead of waiting around week for years, you could watch it in a couple weeks. You can move on with your life. Or you get sucked up into it and it's your life from then forward. But who knows? But they definitely make it so, you know, streaming certainly makes it so watching it all at once is just by far more efficient. I feel like I should keep watching now. Yeah. Indeed. Honestly, it ranked pretty much the same. Wow, that's pretty amazing. So Caitlin Snow was also Killer Frost. Funny, I think. Highly intelligent bioengineer expert, Caitlin believed her fiance, Ronnie, was killed during the particle accelerator explosion at Star Labs until he returned partway through first season. Ronnie and Caitlin get married in the first season finale, fast enough. That's funny. She is also a metahuman with cryokinetic abilities known as Killer Frost and later Frost, and later also gains a persona, Keone, that allows her to connect to the natural world. Fascinating. Snowberry. We are in the shipping wiki. Barry to Caitlin, quote, "You know what? I think everybody's been right about you and me. Both of us have been hung up on people for way too long." Hey, cooking together. It's usually a good sign. Pet ship between Barry and Caitlin from the Flash fandom. It is Fanon, close friends, allies, Team Flash. Also known as Snow Allen, Kate Barry, Carrie, Baitlin, Snow Flash, Flash Frost, Frost Flash, Frostberry. Yoni was a Greek goddess of snow and beauty of winter. Good to know. Good to know. I appreciate that. I've never heard of that Greek goddess. The high-stakes profession of saving lives the Flash dives into. Caitlin helps save his life multiple times, as he does hers in dangerous situations fighting metas. When faced with the meta blackout, Barry loses his speed as Blackout siphons it off of him. Barry tells Caitlin how much he loves being the Flash, and she tells him that with or without his speed, he's still him. There's a beat where Caitlin watches Barry admiring. Come on. Talk about how he loves being able to help people. She tentatively steps forward as if she's about to kiss him. Hello. Oh, this. Look at that eye contact. Mouth agape. His opens up. Oh, yeah. That was definitely on their minds. For a second, Barry seems to realize it, but at that moment, Cisco walks in and they both move awkwardly, with Cisco noting the palpable weirdness. When Barry asks Caitlin to shock him to jumpstart his speed, he asks her what she believes. She later tells him that she believes in him and that he was chosen to be gifted his powers, and that he should believe too. At the time, when Barry needs reassurance of who he is, whether he's complete without his speed, when Blackout enters Star Labs, Caitlin and Barry hide together, holding hands for the first time. Hello. Practically second base. Heatwave and Captain Cold later abduct Caitlin to lure the Flash. Barry's horrified and will do anything to get Caitlin back safe, while Caitlin in turn wishes to keep Barry safe, telling him not to come for her. Classic. Classic. Absolutely. Caitlin and Barry realize they're both pining for people they can't be with. Caitlin suggests the two go out for fun. Oh, drunken karaoke. Oh, yeah. Barry making sure Caitlin gets home safely. She asks him to stay with her, hello, until he falls asleep, and Barry obliges. After defeating Peekaboo, that's a hilarious name, Caitlin tells Barry she's ready to move on and gives off the vibe that she is hinting to Barry. Wink, wink. Just as this happens, Ronnie returns to their lives for real. And after the team successfully separates Stein and Ronnie, Caitlin and Ronnie are back together. Oh. Damn you, Ronnie. They look great together. I would agree. I would agree with that. Me being a mythology nerd again. Hey, that's helpful. That is helpful information. Sometimes. Firestorm, Ronnie, let's see. When the military attempts to abduct Firestorm, Ronnie realizes that leaving town with Stein to figure out their combined powers is a new path, that he and Caitlin can't go back to where they left off. Oh. After Barry accidentally alters the timeline by a day and acts accordingly to the day that never was, Caitlin helps mend his ailing relationships with Eddie and Iris by explaining to them that Barry suffers from lightning psychosis, and they share a great moment. In many ways, their larger-than-life experiences as a superhero crime-fighting team makes their bond tighter and close-knit, as there are things they can only share with each other. So they had their moment. That was probably one of the bigger ones. Of course. Barry to Julian. Look, Caitlin, she's a good person. I'm begging you, don't turn her in. I will do anything you want. Barry, kill me, Kate. Kill me, Caitlin. You can't do it. Because underneath all that cold, you're still you. Caitlin said, do whatever you want to me, but leave him alone. Heatwave said, you and this Flash must be really close if you're willing to die for him. Chipper on board. Caitlin said, we're quite the pair, Mr. Allen. Barry said, yes, we are, Dr. Snow. You cut that tension with a knife. Sometimes great possibilities are right in front of us and we don't see them because we choose not to. Barry. Uh-huh. Caitlin to Barry, I already lost someone I cared about in this building. I can't do it again. Caitlin to Iris after having kissed who she thinks is Barry. Huh? Nothing. I didn't do anything. Fans sometimes refer to Harry Wells, the Earth 2 Harrison Wells, as the so-titled Captain of Snowberry, as he allegedly is always cheering on the couple through his actions. Since around mid-season 2, the show started drastically reducing the stream time and interactions between Barry and Caitlin. Wonder why. Why did the writers choose to do that? The fandom of this ship is generally wishing for more scenes, like the ones they had in season 1 mostly. The fandom of the ship mostly consists of those who abandoned shipping early on due to the aforementioned decrease in screen time between the characters after season 2. Those who keep on shipping despite the unlikelihood of it becoming canon, and those who have given up on the show because of the decrease in screen time. Just gave up on the show. I'm done. They're not a thing. I'm out. That's hilarious. Drop the show altogether due to the decline in quality of the series from season 3 onwards. Hello. That's a hot take. Did it decline in quality after season 3? It's up to you. You gotta, chime in on that one. Do you think it actually went down in quality after season 3? And obviously, we are not clicking on the fan fiction. All of a sudden, we are taken down. Oh, this is gonna be some hot takes, I think. This is the Arrowverse Reddit. What do you think about Caitlin Snow and Barry Allen? I really like the idea of them being together, and I'm only on season 2. Well, get ready, buckle up. But they look so perfect together. Tell me your thoughts about the relationship and if you like it or not. Here we go. When I first watched, I was expecting them to be together and was very sad that they weren't. Well, not for very long, at least. Especially after the Everman episode, she seemed to enjoy the kiss when she thought it was Barry. Would make an interesting dynamic when Ronnie returned, absolutely. Then dying again would make the story more emotionally complicated early on, though instead of action, there was enough romance going on without throwing that into the mix. Better than with Iris. Ooh, hot take. That is a hot one. Not to sound old fandomer, but when I joined shipping fandoms, whether it was canon or not, never mattered. Yeah, I mean, makes sense. That does make sense. I even know people ship them. You learn something new every day. Well, I didn't know either, I guess. All right. Come on now, chat. Work with me. The little app that I use is causing me issues. Work. Here we go. What's up, Sour Wolf? In some ships, it's better them not being canon. Honestly, yeah. I would probably agree with that. Well, if you're writing fan fiction, which I am not a consumer of, so I'm speaking out of my anyway. I assume it would be better for it not to be canon, because then you can really go wild with theories and concepts and all that stuff. Like, you can really just make it your own because it's not real. Obviously, if it is canon, it kind of changes it a little bit. Like, it gives them other taste to the fan. Yeah, exactly. Some ships are super good until they get together for some reason. It goes downhill. Yeah. Yeah. I think the big part of it is the what if. What if is huge. We have this with people in our lives. We see somebody online or whatever, see them in person from a distance, and we're like, wow, they're really really beautiful. They're really handsome. They're really, smart sounding, or they look great, or, Oh, I like their laugh. You know, whatever. You notice something about them, and then you have this like beautiful sheen of this is the person for me, or this is a wonderful person. I wonder what they're like. And then you actually get to meet them, and you're like, oh, I was way off. Terrible person. Don't like them. You know, whatever. It's very much the it's very much the what if. Will they, won't they? Sometimes the back and forth of will they, won't they is more interesting than them actually being together. Where you're just like, you know, I like the chase and the push and pull, and then they get together and it's just boring, and you're like, oh, they're just a normal couple now. That's not as fun. Means less chance of the show writers to screw them up. Absolutely. Oh my gosh. I would say just based off of what I've read from ships that I had no idea existed or whatever, I would say the writers probably screw up most of it. Because I think what I've read and heard from most people that ship is that the fan fiction is better than what they actually get from whatever show, movie, whatever. That the fan fiction is just 100 times better. The stories, you know, how they meet, how they get about, you know, go about their relationship and whatnot. So I'd say it's probably better if it's left fanon for the most part, unless you're like really invested and you really want to see what the writers take, what direction they take with it. But then again, it could be screwed up, right? Better than with Iris. Ooh, hot take. Barry and Caitlin have a natural bond and an obvious attraction towards each other. Yeah, I would say just from reading some of that and seeing some of those gifs, it makes sense. Caitlin is constantly inspiring Barry to be a better version of himself and never separates Barry from the Flash. She's always there for him, and Barry actually smiles when she's around, feels comfortable around her. Iris, on the other hand, is constantly manipulating Barry. She doesn't love him. Ooh, wow. That's a bold claim there. Only pressured into a relationship because of Earth 2 in the future where they're both married, constantly separating the two most important parts of his life, and doesn't see Barry as the Flash. Case in point, we are the Flash. The only reason Barry is with her is because he's blinded by the childhood crush he had on her, which Iris uses to her advantage to always push him and make everything in his life about her. Ooh, that is spicy. That is a spicy one. Yeah, I guess that would be very easy to manipulate somebody if they had a childhood crush on you. You got a soft spot, you know? You're most vulnerable when you have a soft spot towards somebody. If they're a really big piece of you know what, they can use it against you. Yes, you get me. I ship, but we stick with what the books say. And the books say Iris is engaged. Hopefully they get married again. But I think Caitlin and Barry dating would have been nice to see. They were planned to date in season 1, I believe, but Grant Gustin, Barry's actor, wanted them to move to the Barry and Iris storyline quicker instead of dragging it out. I think it was a good decision in the end. That's interesting. So Barry's actor, Grant, wanted them to just get to it. Get to Barry and Iris. Was he worried that the show wouldn't be around to get to it? You know, why? I don't know. I don't get the reasoning there. That's almost like on Smallville just saying, Clark, skip Lana, just go to Lois. I think it adds something to it. You know? It adds a little, get to see him in a different situation. Then that way you can appreciate the Lois relationship a little more. So maybe if we saw him with Caitlin, the Iris relationship would seem better or something. I don't know. It's kind of odd. Why would you want to jump right into it? Why exactly do they look perfect together? Did you not watch the show? It was clear they liked each other, especially in one of the episodes in season 1. After he takes her home from the bar, he helps her change. She says, "You deserve to..." What? "You deserve to take a look at my body for all the hero things you've done." Wow. Well, that quote really sums it up. Wow. Number 1, the self-confidence. Amazing. Amazing, right? Fantastic. Number 2, boy, that really puts it plainly, doesn't it? In vino veritas, in wine there is truth. Boy, that spilled all the beans on that one. I always felt that she was just kind of Barry's slightly older sister. Well, Iris is Barry's foster sister, though. Touche. Touche. Deleted. Touche. It wouldn't work as a couple, even if you want to ship them in a relationship. Well, technically, you could make anybody work in a relationship if you ship them. You can do anything. That's the beauty of it. I need Caitlin Allen or else I would die. Well, hopefully they're still alive. This was 2 years ago. Just responded with, what? I need them together. Now, also, did any of you guys see the time that she enjoyed the kiss when she thought it was Barry and how she thought of him like Ronnie? Yeah, that is no coincidence. And when she said, "You deserve a peek for all the good things you do." So actually, that did happen, I guess. Not directly, but a hint. Oh, that was pretty direct. That's pretty directly, I think. That's not a hint. You deserve a peek. Go ahead and take a peek. The downvotes. When you say together, you're still friends. I want to see a pathetic... What? You're still friends. I want to see a pathetic to anybody ever. You love. Love is happy inside if you like the voice thing. To do listen to your heart. And got us never give up the scoop. Going well. Just wanted to do you never give up on you. Are a super Barry Allen. You are the Flash. You are not alone. You go somewhere else like Caitlin Snow. Well, I know nothing. I know anything about you guys. I know Dr. Harrison Wells I know him a big fan. I love him so much. And I love Tom. It's a great actor. I do a crush on him. I either think that was translated or maybe that was like talk to text. That felt like straight. I think that was talk to text or translated. I'm assuming. Do you have to? Doesn't her friend are supposed to be together? I'm confused. No disrespect. Do you speak and read in English? Okay, we got to follow this train. You ever get so deep into one of these, you're like, we got to follow this to the end. Where we at? How do you say Tom because they had was a girl or a man? What did be happy like it? Best friends here for the sellers, and now what will be happy to want to be kind to him happiness? Does he still want some time? Give a smile like a day and give you happy. That's fine of a hurry. I know who else. I know him before I met Dr. Harrison Wells, before his weight is my daughter. He saved my life, but he did, so I'll get us now. Candace, no, she's adopted two answers. Right, Caitlin Snow, that's why she wanted to be happy with him. Take a serpent. That's really my husband. Ooh. I love him and Barry Allen. I know he's the Flash. I can't secret and not tell anyone else. Know the secret. I promise I won't tell the second. Save me. No. Would I never give up? Okay. Something about serpent and husband. Barry Allen's her lover or something. I don't know what's going on. What TF are you talking about? Am I the only one in these comments not understanding this person, or am I insane? I'm right there with you, friend. It's not you, bud. I thought I was having a stroke reading it. I don't believe English is the first. I don't think so. I think it's translated, but I also think it's like talk to text because it's just run-on sentences. Can you please share what you are smoking, bro? The whole paragraph is crazy. It's irrelevant. Are you sure you're okay? Are you allowed to be on Reddit? If so, who let you? Share what you're smoking, bro. That's me getting lost in Reddit when I'm researching for you. Knows Barry Allen is the Flash. Yeah, absolutely. Figured it out. Good job. You know, no secret is too secure around Direct Mountain 9966. Oh my gosh, I almost want to click on the profile. 343 comments. Oh my. Wait, that can't be what. Oh my gosh. That was something. I'm glad we did that. I think it's talk to sounds like yapping to the mic and be like, well, whatever, that works. You know what's funny is they probably read what they typed, quote unquote typed, and said, yeah, that sounds good. Mm-hmm. Do you have to, doesn't her friend are supposed to be together? I'm confused. Blah, blah. Yes. Oh, the response, what? Yes. Oh, no. Oh, my gosh. I like the upvote on there. I do. That was beautiful. You know, sometimes you find poetry in places you don't expect it. That was truly, truly lovely. And I think we're all enriched from that. You know, got a nice vocabulary salad, saw different words. I think it was a overall positive experience for each one. Oh, who said Reddit comments were unintelligible? Inspiring. Yes, that is a great word. Inspiring. You know, I hope you take those words to heart because they came from the heart. You can tell. God. Okay. Well, that adventure was fun. Let's move on to 911, shall we? This is called Pompeii. 911 relationships buddy, Athena, Madney, Enron. This is seasons 1 through 6. And this was made for Valentine's Day. That's lovely. Makes sense, right? Very relationship-y kind of holiday. Let's go ahead. Oh my gosh, did I dress up for Valentine's Day? I saw the thumbnail for that a couple days ago, and I'm like, wow, that was a lot. I had a white bow tie. Unbelievable. Alrighty, go ahead and bring this up. Get rid of Reddit for now. Not exactly sure if this is going to be TikToks. Maybe it is. Who knows? Well, let's go ahead and jump in. I'm assuming this is going to be, yeah, Bastille Pompeii. So that's not surprising.
Remember that movie? A woman, she wakes up every morning and her brain resets to a year ago. So anything she does today, she won't remember tomorrow.
Yeah, that was anterograde
Hunting a
amnesia.
fly?
Works a little
Sent
differently.
my soda flying. No.
Still sounds like a nightmare. You know, starting over every day. Always doing the same thing. Making the same mistakes. Never having a chance to learn or make a different decision.
I was left to my own devices. Many days fell away with nothing to show.
So how'd you make it happen for you and Athena?
We got called to a motorcycle accident. It was a bad one. I wasn't at my best at the time.
I need help.
You put our family at risk.
They're all dead.
Needed to take a minute. She sat with me.
All right, Buck, just chugging along there.
Do you care for him? Do you think about him when he's not around?
No, wait. Eddie was in the Army.
Are his concerns your concerns?
I could never really understand that part of your life, but I like to try.
Is his happiness at least as important to you as yours?
This was your dream.
It's a very poignant question.
And could you see a future there?
I didn't imagine that part, right? You actually walked through fire.
Well, you were inside.
Usually a good sign, right? They're willing to walk through fire for you.
Athena's on that flight, isn't she?
She's fine.
Of course she is. What else would she be doing?
You want to do a rope rescue? Of course you do. Jimmy's alive.
Oh
There
my
was
gosh.
a moment when I felt like I'd lost you forever. And it scared me. Never having a chance to fix things or try again.
We're never gonna get back what we would have had. But maybe we could have something else.
Well, there's nobody in this world I trust in my son more than you.
The 118 isn't just an item in a ledger. And the people who serve there are not simply employees, we're a family, and I will be damned if I will stand by while you waste your power and your position trying to break up that family the way you broke up mine.
It is pretty amazing. If you've never been in that situation, I have not, where your coworkers and you are literally fighting for their lives. Like dangerous work, maybe hazard pay, potential to end up injured or dead is high. Probably makes you just unbelievably close with one. Obviously, the most obvious example is military, but obviously, you know, firefighters and police is there. And it's something I've never experienced. Like, I've never looked at a coworker and said, hey, if you got my back, I got yours. Never. Never. Like, I don't even know what that would be like. Confiding in somebody else for your safety and life. And putting your own life at risk to save theirs. Like, that is not, like, there's no email that's coming through that I'm like, hey, I got your back, you got mine, you know. Oh, that was a bad email. Let me get in there. Like, there's no one for one there. So it's just something I can't relate to, but it seems powerful, certainly.
I'm here. I got you. Come on, baby. You can do it.
Hey, just stay with me, okay?
I was trying to get back to you the whole time. To the both of you.
So now am I allowed to ask how you are?
Honestly, Eddie, I don't know.
But if you close your eyes,
Not a fun situation. Nice to know you have someone there with you. First responder. Yeah, absolutely.
I keep
What's
thinking
going on,
about
Abby?
what you said. How I've missed so many
can only
of the
imagine.
important moments in his life.
You were there for the most important one in this boy's life.
Must be very reassuring for sure. And ultimately, it gives you unbelievable purpose, right?
I got out of the ocean for you. For both of you.
Thanks for coming to get me.
I think it's supposed to be romantic. You know, the idea that the guy would work hard every day making her fall in love with him over and over again.
So every day is the best day ever. Is that really love? Right? Shouldn't it be when you're at your worst, they're at their worst, you have every reason to give up and you still decide you want to try again?
I guess it is.
Yeah, that is a good point. Dang, that was a good edit. You were right. You were right. That was very lovely. And you get, to kind of see all the different relationships and potential. Maddie and Buck are talking about 50 First Dates. Oh, yeah. That was a good movie. That was a really good movie. I can't remember much of the intimate details of it because it's been a while since I've seen it. But I do remember being like, taken in with it and just, it's a sweet story. And of course, Drew Barrymore and Adam Sandler. Fantastic in that movie. Excellent, excellent edit. Link down below in the YouTube description for the original video. Go throw it some much deserved love. And for those of you watching live, throw that in the chat for you. There it is. Check out their channel. They might have other edits that are lovely as well. It's a crime that edit only has 4,000 views. Come on now. Crazy. All right. Pull up some information on relationships and couples in 911, not just in general. We're actually going to be talking about Timothy Chalamet and Kylie Jenner. Kidding. 10 best 911 couples ranked. We've used a lot of 911 relationship lists and articles, so I got a bit creative this time. Okay. All right. Let's see it. For 10, an old flame haunts a main character, and an Eva. For building a home with Karen, Hen's first love was Eva. Used to live together and had plans to create a future together. However, in season 1, Eva was sent to prison, and Hen received custody of her son, Denny. Yet when Eva was released, Hen decided to sleep with her just one more time, tarnishing her relationship with Karen. Ouch. Well, a lot of fans empathized with Eva's struggle with addiction. That's funny. They didn't appreciate her manipulative nature. Plus, audiences were so confused as to why Hen would risk her relationship with Karen, right, for a chance with an ex-lover. Well, it was either very good or, one of those poor decisions. I've noticed if it's not Buddy, it's not popular, which is a shame. Yeah, that tends to be accurate right now. But, every show has their popular ship and whatnot. Number 9, Eddie jumps the gun with an ex-nun. And to be fair, Buddy is in that. So, dang, where are those views? Buddy jumps the gun with an ex-nun, Eddie and Marisol. Eddie first met Marisol when her brother became trapped under large amounts of equipment on a construction site. While the 118 crew worked to get him out, the pair engaged in some harmless flirting. Yet when they met again at a local hardware store, Eddie decided to ask her out on a proper date. After only a few weeks of dating, Eddie asked Marisol to move in with him. Whoa. Only to discover that she used to be a nun. Okay. Left her covenant at the last stage of her perpetual vows, making her one step away from becoming a sister. Okay. It was the idea of, lifetime vows that freaked her out. Obviously, the main issue here is that Eddie is dating a woman who used to devote herself to purity. Unfortunately, the show focused too much on this and refused to explore the nuances of the relationship. As such, fans didn't really get a chance to know Marisol before she was written off. Interesting. Love the hen Karen and wish they got more love. Go back and forth with Buddy. I know you said you have to catch up with season 8, so I'm going to hold off. Yeah. Obviously it's very popular and a lot of people want to see it happen. And certainly it became a thing with moving to ABC, moving different networks. Became a possibility at least. It seems like the writers are teasing it, to say the least. Teen pair couldn't handle the distance, Buck and Abby. Although their first date resulted in amateur tracheotomy, Buck and Abby were a popular couple throughout the early days of 911. Buck was very supportive of Abby's struggles with looking after her elderly mother, and the pair seemed to be all loved up. Yet when her mother died, Abby decided to travel to Ireland, calling it quits with Buck. Well, it was nice to see Abby spread her wings after such a troublesome time. Fans still wish that they could see more Buck and Abby. Ooh. Do they? Do they? The former was able to get over his prejudice of dating an older woman, and the latter was able to have a life outside of her caring responsibilities. Yet the show often glazed over their intimate moments and preferred to show how their jobs got in the way of their love lives. I don't think that was ever going to go anywhere. That's the thing. Like, they brought in Abby's actor to give the show a little bit of name recognition. Then, whoop, gone. The actress was a bigot, though, so I don't miss Marisol. Ooh, that's spicy. Spicy. Number 7, a lot of confusion messed up this unlikely couple, Buck and Tommy. Hello. A lot of fans were a tad surprised when Buck revealed that he was bisexual, but a lot of audiences agreed that this bond with Tommy offered a refreshing twist to the show. However, their first date was filled with social faux pas. It was evident that Buck just wasn't completely comfortable yet. Plus, when Tommy revealed that he was previously engaged to Abby, the pair decided to break things off while Buck took some time to figure things out. Wait, what? Tommy was previously engaged to Abby? Whoa. That's crazy. Tommy is just one of a few people who called Buck by his first name, Evan. A lot of fans were keen to see Buck and Tommy work things out, but many felt that the latter was just too condescending. He struggled to accept that Buck was still figuring out a label for himself, would often speak down to him about his worries. Buck rushed into the relationship in the hope that it would stop him from questioning his sexuality, but in fact, it only made things worse. Boy, that was one of the most awkward date scenes and lines I think I've ever read. I'm an ally. Abby was only ever signed for season 1. Makes sense. It's kind of his beard. I liked Buck and Tommy. Yeah, it makes sense that they brought in, what is her name? Connie something? Connie something. The actress is, totally forget. Connie Britton. Number 6, a loving couple determined to help others, Michael and David. Back in season 1, Michael Grant made the brave decision to leave his wife Athena and start again as a gay man. After being trapped in a lift with an ever adorable David, the pair started dating. Even after David announced that he was going to Haiti, that is misspelled. To help with relief effort, Michael was happy to join him. The pair has also got married and now live in Florida, presenting themselves as the perfect couple. Nobody's perfect. No couple's perfect. Period. Because David didn't like diamonds, Michael used a watch for his proposal. Interesting. So you get like, what, a Rolex or something? As opposed to a diamond? Well, Rolex might be too much. That might be too much money. Told you the Abby thing was fan theory, and yeah, it became canon. Yikes. While there's nothing wrong with Michael and David, fans just feel annoyed that they don't see enough of them. I think this is part of that, there's just too many people, too many stories, too many relationships. It might be too much. Audiences learn about them through other characters like Athena and Bobby, making their arc feel really weak. Number 5, Buck and Taylor. Betrayal rips through long-lasting couple apart. Buck and Taylor sit at the halfway point on the list because the relationship went through so many twists and turns that it's hard to define it as either good or bad. Taylor appears in season 2 as a news reporter, stuck in a failing helicopter, but returns in season 4 as Buck's main love interest. By season 5, fully committed to each other, cracks start to show and Buck admits to kissing Lucy. Yeah, that would put a damper on things. They'll finally break up and starting over after Taylor announced that she had run a story about Jonah Greenway after promising her boyfriend that she wouldn't. Relationship went on for far too long. While both parties really were attracted to each other, it's clear that Buck wasn't ready to give up his life as a player. Player. Didn't like Abby at all. The fact that she illegally got Buck's information from the call notes was super creepy. Yeah, that's definitely creepy. Stalkery. Yep. The situation was reversed, people would have been upset. Absolutely. That is true. Taylor also enjoyed mixing her job with Buck's role as a firefighter, viewing everything as a breaking news story. Oh yeah, that's true. If you're a reporter and you're dating a first responder, you have literally first dibs at every story. Number 4, 2 inspirational women set out to be spectacular mothers, Hen and Karen. Even as an accomplished firefighter and a rocket scientist, Hen and Karen somehow still have time to be devoted mothers. While they certainly experience their fair share of hardships, the pairing is one of the better assets of 911. They face a lot of turmoil, but they still manage to find a way back to each other in the end. Before joining the LAFD, Hen worked as a sales rep for a pharmaceutical company. Okay. Hen and Karen's journey as parents is also quite interesting and adds a layer of drama to this hit show. Struggled to make it as foster parents. The way they handled Denny differs from other parenting techniques. Show. Number 3, a couple who have seen it all, Athena and Bobby. Bobby and Athena have been together since season 1 and have given fans a lot of tooth-achingly sweet scenes to enjoy. From Bobby's stint in rehab to Athena's son getting kidnapped, the couple has managed to remain strong in the face of adversity, proving that there's someone out there for everyone. I don't know. Do we agree with that? I guess. It might be difficult to find. That's the problem. I think that's the biggest issue. But the internet has definitely helped with that. It's easier now more than ever to find people, but it's also very difficult because the internet gives you unlimited options. Literally like, a never-ending scroll, a feed of potential. And it just kind of, it's good and it's bad. Good that it gives you the options to meet people that you've never seen before. Bad that it's also limitless. Bobby wears 2 wedding rings, a black silicone ring when he's at work and a plain platinum band when he's off duty. That makes sense. A lot of people do that, especially like doctors, nurses, physical therapists, whatever. While Athena is often criticized for being involved in a series of unrealistic plot lines, her relationship with Bobby manages to keep her character grounded. Very capable stepfather even made amends with her ex-husband, Michael, to ensure they could all live as a blended family. Number 2, Athena and Michael, married couple, lives on as friends. Karen's easily top 5 people on the show. Nice. Taylor was horrible. Well, they split up very early on in season 1. Athena and Michael still managed to maintain an amicable relationship. As parents, they never struggled to put their kids first and include them in their new families. Even after they split up, the pair remained friendly and are now showcasing the nuances of a blended family. The actor who portrayed Michael Grant was forced to cut ties after it refused to honor his wish to not have the vaccine for the pandemic. Interesting. So is he gone? Fans also learned that I guess he was replaced, right? Even with Michael suffering a brain tumor, Athena's current husband, Bobby, stood by his side and offered him a lot of emotional support. Although 911 could have made Athena and Michael hate each other, it's far more interesting to see how the pair managed their new lives. Cutest couple reigns supreme. Oh, nice. That's awesome. Karen's like the person I would trust most in 911. Maddie and Chimney, number 1. Comes as no surprise that Maddie and Chimney sit at the very top of this list because for the past 8 seasons, they've been a constant source of love and familiarity. Yet that doesn't mean that they haven't been through the ringer. Yeah, I would say so. Suffered from postnatal depression, which put a great strain on her. Of course, it would be silly to ignore Howard's struggles as a firefighter and catastrophic injuries he faced during his career. Fans of soppy PDA, this couple's a real treat. Never hesitate to showcase their love for one another or their families. Even when 911 gets a bit dark, too dark, Maddie and Chimney know how to add a sprinkling of light back into the show. There you go. 911 on Fox Relationship Analysis. Season 1. Most common interaction pairing. Abby and Buck, 22. Station 118, 20. Buck and Buck. Or Buck and Buck. I guess you could say season 1, Buck was in a relationship with Buck. Bobby and Buck, 15. Bobby and Hen and Buck, 14. Tina and Hen. Bobby and Jim. But what I'm seeing here is that Buck is in a lot. So clearly they're going heavy on the Buck storyline in season 1. Big time. Sure. 911, let's see. Season 1, Bobby's total interactions with the other main characters. Look at the Buck line. Oh my gosh. Buck, Jim, Hen. Not much Athena. Interesting. Very interesting. What's up, Coney? Welcome in. I've just done 911 currently. General Hospital as well. We still have YinWar, excuse me, and AmazingPhil left. Appreciate it, Jace. Shame as Bobby and Michael, it's Bobby's only friendship that Bobby doesn't have a duty of care for a boss. They could just be chaotic friends. They just said he moved to Florida, I think. Oh, yeah, that's right. Well, that's one way to do it, right? Let's see what else. So not many interactions with Athena to begin with. Not very surprising. Athena's interactions with main characters, mostly with Hen. A little bit with Bobby. Most of the time, no mains present. Wow. A lot of it. Hen's interactions, a little bit more sparing. Usually with Buck. Buck, Chim, and Bobby. That makes sense. Chim, Buck, Hen, and Bobby. That makes sense as well. Abby. Look at how many. Look at how many with Buck. Oh my gosh. I mean, it does make sense. And no other mains the most. Yeah, because she was on the phone, right? On the phone in the call center. Buck's interactions, I mean, Buck was everywhere, clearly. Bobby's a big one, you know, getting that parental role figure. A little bit with Athena, not much. Mostly with Hen and Bobby. Obviously, Chim, Abby being a big one as well. How dare you, Tumblr? How dare you? Total interactions by main character. I mean, that's not surprising. Very Buck and Bobby heavy. And next, Athena, Jim. Kind of interesting. I would expect Athena to be higher on this list just due to the star power, obviously. But that's kind of... That's our family. Karen's right, but the 118 needs the season 8 finale to remember it too. Published 3 days ago. You know what's wild? Between season 1 and season 8, you can tell they're all a little bit older. I hate seeing that with shows. I hate it. Bobby is Buck's pseudo dad, so it makes sense. Yeah, absolutely. Buck is often heavily involved. Some people get frustrated that others should have more. I agree. But it does seem like, they kind of couched the first season, or at least the first couple episodes, very Buck point of view central. Like starting off with his flings and eating Bobby and starting to get like coached or parented by Bobby. It very much was Buck heavy. Chimney has less scenes because he got the rear in his head, so it was gone healing. Oh. Jeez. Well, that'll do it. 911 Season 8 has finally remembered its found family element, but the season finale needs to recenter it in the procedural's overarching narrative. Ever since Bobby... I mean, I don't know. This isn't a spoiler alert, is it? I mean, maybe you've seen it by now. Died in Season 8, Episode 15. The 118 has been on the brink of falling apart. From every firefighter battling complex grief to a former antagonist acting as Bobby's temporary replacement, the core group of first responders, sadly, isn't out of the woods yet. If anything, it's possible that the character's pain will get worse before it gets better. Oh, we got Rebar. Gotcha. Angela Bassett's a powerhouse. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Huge. Get, for sure. And it's nice. Honestly, it's nice to see her in something that's successful and lasting forever. Like, it's awesome. Very cool. Buck's evolution in the show is so good. Indeed. It's been weeks. Yeah, it has. I read it at first and I'm like, do I read this? And I'm like, it's been weeks. It's been out. If you haven't watched it by now, I mean, it's going to be spoiled regardless. Now that Bobby's burial in 911 is over and done with, all that remains of the storyline is how the lives of the other characters, Buck, Eddie, Ken, Chimney, and Ravi, or his widow, Athena. Bobby will undoubtedly continue to haunt the narrative, but his legacy will also be an anchor point for the series moving forward. One of the best 911 episodes this season teased Bobby's memory may even mend some broken fences. Dang. That's brutal. Well, I guess now that we've talked about it, I can talk about it. It makes sense. I mean, okay. If the actor wanted to leave, Krause, I think is his last name, Peter Krause. If the actor wanted to leave, I get it. Maybe it was a dispute with money or something. Who knows? I don't know. I have no inside information that I know of. Maybe they really wanted to shake things up. Like, you know what? Let's go for a big death. Huge. Nobody will see it coming. One of the main characters, I guess you could say. I don't know if I agree with it. If he decided to go, it is what it is. Actors do that all the time. If they decided it, the writers, the showrunners, I don't know if that was a good move. I probably would have gotten rid of a different... Somebody doesn't get as much time, maybe kind of a supporting cast member. It still would have been terrible. I don't know. Going for the big one is tricky. You could alienate the audience. People could be really upset by it. You could lose audience over it. Like it's a lot. It was for shock value. Well, they did it. They definitely shocked them. Love that Angela's the grace to step. Yeah. And let others have focus. Absolutely. 911 Lone Star suffered because their star power Rob Lowe couldn't stand to not be the focus of every episode. Yeah. Yeah. Yep, that kind of makes sense. He didn't want to leave. Tim Minear wanted some shock value. How are we feeling about that? Do you think the shock value was worth it? And is there any way of bringing Bobby back? Or is it just completely done? I'm assuming completely done, right? He didn't go into hiding in some like witness protection program. Like it's not his body in there. The writers just wanted to shock. So many loved 911 because after 7-8 years, people trusted the mains didn't die. People feel extra betrayed. Yeah, I would think so. Look, we've all been through Game of Thrones. We totally understand main characters dying. It shakes things up. It's fascinating. It's definitely a shock value. But in a show like this that hasn't killed anyone major off, it seems a little out of place. Like that seems to me like a very grasping at straws, trying to shake things up because it's been going for a while. Like it doesn't make sense. I get it that literally any one of these characters could die at any time because it's a dangerous job. But if you haven't done it before, you probably shouldn't. Maybe if it's the last season, last half of this, second half of the final season, shake things up, kill somebody off. I get it. We're in the trenches with the theories, I bet. I mean, we didn't see the body, so I'm still holding on hope. Well played, Saltwater. Yeah, who knows, right? Did anybody see the body? I don't think so. I mean, at the same time, though, it's more like real life. True. That's true. People die all the time. Even really important people. It's human, so I understand it, but I don't particularly like it. Yeah, absolutely. So it makes sense that it could happen, of course. It makes it a little bit more realistic. But it just feels weird that in a show where that hasn't happened yet, maybe do it to somebody that's like, not as important. Like maybe they did it to really shake up Buck. Because Bobby's been kind of a father figure to him. Maybe it was something Buck needed to be without Bobby and kind of stand on his own 2 feet, maybe. I wouldn't put it past him to have Bobby come back. It was all ruse. He didn't die. I've seen people ranting. The way it happened makes no sense. Tim could revive him with dark magic. There you go. Buck can have another coma and chat to Bobby again. There. Oh, that's right. Right. Yeah. You could, just like in General Hospital, you could bring him back in like visions and dreams. And 118 has been fighting since Bobby's death. Don't drink the water only amped up the tension. Although some conflicts have been brewing for weeks, brings the tension to a boiling point. Athena and Hen are still able to bond and have conversations, but the air goes cold as soon as Chimney walks in. Season 8's closing episode have turned Chimney's role on its head, as the comedic character is still consumed by festering guilt for Bobby's death. Despite understanding Bobby's death isn't Chimney's fault, Athena has an irrational emotional response whenever she sees him. Ooh. Season 8 already has its perfect Bobby successor. Other relationships were tested, like Eddie and Buck's heated argument in the kitchen. Eddie's reaction to Bobby's death in 911 has been one of the most unique, since Eddie was the only main character not present. Consequently, as he admitted to Buck, Eddie is constantly wondering if Bobby's death, Buck's death, if Bobby's death, let me bite my own tongue on that, could have been avoided if he were in LA instead of Texas. Yeah, I could see that. You'd have like that guilt of not being there. On the opposite side of the coin, Buck feels similar guilt that he was there, and even being the last member to see him alive. Tim started on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. He has dark magic connections. There you go. There you go. That would be so funny. They kill off Bobby and then they bring him back in the next season. Oh, he's back. Okay. Here. It's just Tim going, I could take anybody away at any time. Letting you know. Karen reminded everyone that they are a found family, and 911 Season 8 finale needs to emphasize that. When Buck and Eddie find their own way to reconcile, Athena's grudge with Chimney is unyielding. Tracy Times Karen brings Athena an olive branch, a photo of the 118 with Bobby in the center. Karen confides that when anyone asks her of the photo, she gives them one answer. I always say that that's our family. In the wake of the death, what everyone needs is not just companionship, it's camaraderie. 118 have always turned to one another to comfort and support. Question is, what are they going to do with Athena? Athena and the 118 fighting an insult to Bobby's death. Yeah, I guess that'd be true. Beyond simply being sad to watch, there's a deeper issue if 911 fails to pivot to forgiveness arcs. Bobby's death already risks ruining 911, and losing a main character has put the audience rightfully on edge. Long-running procedural is changing its formula now. Nothing feels sacred anymore, including the found family angle. Yeah. It definitely makes people nervous, I'm assuming. Like, I guess they're just pulling the trigger on anything these days. Eddie for real pissed me off that episode. I was livid. Ooh. Yeah. Nothing feels sacred anymore. 911 has instead pitted her against one. If the season finale manages to bring the team together again, reconciliation will undoubtedly be for Bobby's sake. Preserving Bobby's legacy by having Athena forgive Chimney, and Chimney forgive himself for that matter, be a small comfort. That was a bold move. If anything, maybe you hate it, maybe you like it. It shakes things up, or hate it because I liked Bobby as a character, kind of the father figure there, specifically for Buck. You got to give it to Tim. It is a bold move. Bold move. A lot of risks, turning off the audience, changing the atmosphere of the show. It's very similar to, not story-wise, but similar to Michael Scott leaving The Office. He was kind of the character, the main character that was pretty much in every scene, very funny. People enjoyed his character. And then when he left, that show felt different. It became a totally different show. Not saying Bobby is Michael Scott, but it could change the dynamic to a point where it's almost unrecognizable in a way. So that was a gamble. It was a very big gamble by the showrunner. I don't know if it'll pay off, if it'll ruin it. I'm assuming it won't ruin it, but it definitely changes people's opinions of it, and it might change some of the relationships within it. Grief does strange things for people. Indeed. Indeed. Difficult seeing the tension. Yep. They reconciled by bringing Christopher home. Nice. Very nice. I don't blame any of the characters for that kind of thing. No, certainly not. It happens, right? I just don't like the actual fight itself and the way Eddie reacted, but that's my own issue, and it triggered a lot of things for me. Hey, it's very personal. I haven't seen the fight scene, Ambi, but I saw people divided on Tumblr. Yeah, that would definitely do it. And, not only the event of him dying, but also how everybody else handled it. Just a mess all around. Buck and Eddie are angry for a minute and then like besties because they know that's a safe place to put their emotions. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Season 8 finale promo. Trapped after a building collapse. Oh boy. Maybe this will help fix what's broken between Athena and Chimney. Just throw them into a collapsed building. Athena's return to work after her husband Bobby's heartbreaking death led to her encountering Graham, aka Cart Cop, again. He appeared in Wannabes earlier in the season, and this time he was going after people in his new building for shirking their laundry. After her second time called to the scene, he was last seen running back to the laundry room, so sure where, where a missing item of clothing was. Athena, meanwhile, returned to her car only for the building to come down moments later. Now the promo for Season 8 finale, Seismic Shifts. That's a good title. Begins with Athena's call to 911 to send everyone. The 118 is, of course, called to the scene, and Ravi wonders how anyone could have survived it. That's our job, Buck says. Interesting. Is Buck going to become the new Bobby? The Padawan becomes the master. Also, the kid who plays Christopher turned 15 this week. Wow. Wow. Oh. Being Eddie's baby in season 2. Yeah, that's true. Good grief. Wow. Time flies. Absolutely. Chimney finds Athena inside. She found 2 trapped people and one is bleeding out. As the situation becomes unstable, Gerard orders the 118 to evacuate. But Athena and Chimney are trapped, as are Buck and Ravi. Oh boy. Are we going to be the way that Athena and Chimney start talking again? Yep, that'll do it. After Bobby gave Chimney the only dose of the antiviral, he died. No one knew at the time he'd been infected. She's been struggling with looking at Chimney and not seeing the man who didn't survive, her husband. Logline for the episode reads, the 118, still reeling from the recent loss, is dispatched to a mass casualty event. After a high-rise apartment building collapses, then Athena and Chimney have to work together to save a familiar face. Earlier this season, showrunner Tim told TV Insider that there would be a real 911 emergency finale. And seeing this now, that's true. I think we have a fun conceit in episode 17, kind of a thing we haven't really done before, which will then lead to a mass casualty event. And even in their grief, their first responders, they got to put that aside and work together to save people. So I think what you'll see in the last 3 episodes, yes, grief, love, loss, sadness, and rallying and victory. That quote about working together to save people, it will obviously be true of Athena and Chimney. Coming up Thursday, May 15th. This Tim guy's a madman. Madman. Killing off Bobby? Come on now. Who's next? Who's getting the axe next? Oh, geez. Oh, that's an interesting theory to talk about. Who is next? Who's the next star to get axed? Whether it's their own choice or the show. That's fascinating. Can you imagine being Bobby and then being killed off of basically your job? Like, what? Be like, why does it have to be me? Why does it have to be me? I'm getting paid here. This is my salary. You're just gonna fire me like that? And then Chimney are more senior than Buck, but not sure they want to be captain. Interesting. And as captain. I'd be so mad. I'd be like, yeah, wow, that's interesting for the show, but wait, are you going to keep me on like a retainer? Am I going to get like paid to be in like dreams and, you know, maybe some coma scenes? Like, how do we keep this going? Oh my gosh. Oh, that's brutal. Brutal. Go ahead and move into the last video of the stream. Bobby's been in flashbacks and he's an executive producer. Okay, so at least he'll probably still get paid or, you know, be in some scenes, which is good. But I would be so nervous. I'd be like, oh God, really? Has to be me, huh? Can't be anybody else? Like, start like putting out names like, how about, you know, we go this angle instead? Still an executive producer, so that's still cash. Okay, well, that's good. Every episode starts with Buck dreaming Bobby just so he gets paid. Hey, executive producers have, executive producers have a lot of sway. So maybe you have 2 videos. Oh yeah, I do. I do. I don't know why I said that. Next. Not the last video. YinWar, TikTok compilation part 2. Obviously, we reacted to the first part, so second. Only 134 views on this. Wow. All right. We're some of the few chosen. Go ahead and bring that up. And we definitely need to move this over because it is TikTok compilation. Hopefully, I got this spacing correct. We shall see. All right, here we go.
Don't get lost, cause I'm waiting. Summer feelings awaiting, boy. You and me is more.
Okay, I think I got it right.
Miles. You and me is more than the gray sky.
ยินกับพี่วอใครนิสัยดีกว่ากันคะใครดีกว่ากันคะไม่ยากคำถามนี้ไม่ยากเพราะต้องนิสัยดีกว่าแล้วนะครับต้องคำถามว่าใครดื้อก็ต้องเขาที่ดื้อนะทุกคนเห็นภาพอยู่แล้ว
You know what's amazing? It's right in front of my face, and I still said it's the last one. Ugh. It's a Monday. What can you say? No? Monday. What kind of game is that? So if I remember part 1 correctly, it's a lot of relationship, quote unquote, relationship dynamics, and thirst traps. So be prepared. They definitely know how to push the right buttons, don't they? Very funny. What the hell was that gift? What's a compilation without a few thirst traps? Not much of a compilation, I suppose.
Just minute boy when he could come inside of my playpen cause he looks like a superstar in the making, so I think that I'm going in for the taking. Hear through the grapevine that he caking. We could shoot a movie, he could do the taping.
Yo, one thing about War, he is going to fucking lie, and he is going to lie so well that you believe that shit. Why do lies roll off of his tongue so fucking well? Just watch this shit.
Oh my gosh.
He made that shit up. And the worst part is, Yin just goes along with that shit. Look at Yin. Yin's like, you're lying, bro.
He admitted to it.
Second question for you. If it happens, it will be me.
Honestly, I can't blame them. They probably go through so many interviews. It's gotta be interesting. Probably somewhat frustrating sometimes. I would assume most people don't like talking about themselves 24/7. It would get kind of tiring. That's me. That's literally me trying to use chopsticks. It is a chore for myself. That was some intense eye contact.
I'm so sorry. Talk dirty to me.
Oh god. An unexpected piggyback ride. Oh my gosh. Payback. The eye contact. What the heck? I was not expecting that.
No, I'm not thinking about no exes. No, they miss me. I got the whole room spinning like it's tipsy. Don't burst. Take it to the chorus.
Oh my gosh, this is pure chaos. Pushing away the chair is so funny. Called out.
Teu semblante de safada, tipo uma puta feliz, novinha. Da xereca quente, vem cá, dá no bloco, fazer novinha. Da xereca quente, vem cá, dá no bloco, fazer.
Oh my god. Man down. Man down.
And I'm gonna serve exactly what you are. Cut! But have you ever met any?
Dunk tank.
Someone who gets you like no one else, right when you need it the most. We all need a soul to rely on, a shoulder to cry on, a friend through the highs and lows. I'm not gonna make it a la 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 la. I'm not gonna make it a la 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 la.
And you know that water is never warm. Never. Hose water. Just frigid. Amazing. Their chemistry is unbelievable. Truly. Go ahead and throw that some love. 135 views at this point. Link down below in the YouTube description for the original video. Go throw it some much deserved love. And also throw it in the Twitch chat for those of you watching live. Also check out their channel. They might have other videos that you might find enjoyable. Maybe you want to request them. You can react to them together. Go ahead and bring up some information. According to Jace, thanks goes out to Nile and Tali, but especially Rexon13 for being a fact checker. Appreciate it. Any and all help. If you're in the Discord, or maybe you're just watching and you aren't in the Discord and you'd like to provide some assistance for some of the information, I would appreciate it. But in the time heat, cold might be nice. Indeed. That's a good point. In April this year, clothing brand COS invited Yin to be one of the celebs, sat in the front row of their Athens Fashion Week show. Wow, it's a special guest. Lovely. Nice. Obviously reserved seating. Cool. You asked in the last reaction if Love Mechanics was literally about mechanics for engineering students. Well, there you go. You have seen BL content with a mechanic character, however, as Style from the Heart Killers is a mechanic. Nice. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, basically what I've read about a lot of the actors is a surprising amount of them have studied engineering, which is fascinating. You know, you don't quite picture, well, in the West at least, you don't quite picture engineer students becoming actors. Fascinating to me. So it's not surprising that that character gets used. Certainly. Didn't look so classy without War next to him. It's funny. 2021, War turned a university art project into an NFT art project. Interesting. Missing the missing. Play on words. Two nuances: to be missing something and something being absent. Concept is about the act of reminiscing about nature, despite the fact that it can heal our mind. It's slowly gone missing. Or tells us about his latest project, NFT Missing the Missing, which explains why his characters come with transparent heads and why you can see bodies of water, trees, grass, other living things in them. Yeah. Interesting. Huh. And as your mind becomes less peaceful, I guess you could call that deforestation. Nature disappears. Very neat. Lover of art and science since he was a kid, War always tries to get his points of view across whenever he creates art or expresses his personal opinions. Missing the Missing is no exception. Today, EQ chat with the actor turned artist. Find out more about this project, art, and his thoughts on NFTs. How old is this? That's the question. 2021. Okay, that makes sense. I was like, aren't NFTs like not a thing anymore? Like it was one of those things where it's like it got really huge and everyone was talking about it. It's a fad. And then it's just, as of late, it's just, I'm sure they still exist and people are still trading them, but nowhere near the level. I think I remember Justin Bieber buying an NFT for like $1 million or something. And does he still have it? Yes, right? Unless he sold it. From a university project to NFT. Before Missing the Missing came to be coveted collectibles for NFT collectors today, or told us that when he was studying at the Faculty of Architecture, he created a ceramic terrarium project inspired by life-giving nature. He wanted to convey the message that if human beings don't take responsibility for their actions, nature will eventually disappear and be reduced into a small jar. When cryptocurrency became a hot commodity, he thought it would be a good idea to transform the project into NFTs. Although I will say cryptocurrency is still big. I feel like even though nature has the physical and mental healing powers of it's becoming noticeably scarce. With this project, I drew a comparison between our planet and the small terrarium garden that I made. The ecology is in perfect balance. You probably don't need to keep watering it. On the other hand, if nature keeps getting destroyed, natural resources will dwindle, so a fragment of it could only be kept in a small jar. Characters I drew vary. Sometimes they resemble me, other times they resemble rare items, like the Shiba Inu or whale that represents a big shot crypto investor. Oh, gotcha. That's what. Engineering or architecture, both popular? Indeed. They're worthless now. They existed before the big boom, too. Yeah. It was mostly a pump and dump con man scheme. Just like the meme coins right now. What was that one? It was like a really popular one. It was the Octua girl had one and immediately pump and dumped. I don't think it was her pumping and dumping it, but she was just signed on to it. Just crazy. Like it's any sort of views or mentions or any sort of popularity. I mean, why are you? It just, maybe I'm too old school, which is weird because I'm not old, but the idea of a meme coin and crypto coins to me is just ridiculous on face value. I don't know what other word to say other than ridiculous. I don't get it. I really don't. Especially when you're playing with money that should be like in your investments and savings. Like what? You're putting that into something that's like a fly by night meme coin. Most people lost money and most NFTs are worthless now. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Same thing with GameStop. You know, people pumped it up to get rich and keep it alive and just for the memes, I guess. Grew over the shorters terms for it. But GameStop is, at this point, it's just kind of a non-investment. But yeah, it's just weird. How did Ulolu come about? Olulo. I think that's it. I love when I see faces and random objects. I like to take photos of them and post them on my Instagram. This has inspired the logo, which is a palindrome that looks like a face. Oh, it doesn't have any special meaning. I just love how symmetrical it looks. Tell he has an artist's touch, vision. Very cool. Oh yeah, look at that. I like it. Very cool. Finding faces in everything. Boy, that's weird. Literally in everything. Very crazy. All right, that one's kind of funny. Meme tattoos baffle me. The meme is forgotten and you're stuck with a tattoo you paid for. That's a good point. That's a good point. Memes are, you know, they go so fast. So fast. Thoughts on NFT and crypto trends? Oh boy. Oh boy. Having already dabbled in Bitcoins, War's transition to NFTs could be called a natural course of action. This differs from most of his fellow artists who started learning about Bitcoins at the same time at NFTs. In the beginning, I used to think that Bitcoins worked like a pyramid scheme. Literally NFTs. Literally. Money laundering. Yes. But when I did more research on it, it dawned on me that it's actually a strong currency, which drew me to the whole scene. When I learned about Ethereum or ETH, I also wanted to join that community because it seemed like a really cool platform. During the pandemic, I spent a lot of my free time learning about NFTs. It's just because people had so much time in their hands. Everyone was baking sourdough bread, investing in NFTs, which is literally just images of art that can be ripped off, screenshotted, etc. Took me months to figure things out because there was a lot of details involved. You have to plan everything carefully before you upload your artworks. Actually, I'm still a little confused by the whole process. NFTs stand out because their authenticity or ownership can be 100% proven. Like art. With traditional paintings or drawings, as time passes, you can never really be sure which is a real deal. That's true. They do have a lot of counterfeit issues. But then again, there are experts that can figure that out, but who knows how much they cost, right? So I guess in a way it makes sense, but also like I would rather own a physical piece of art, whether it's counterfeit or not, frankly, and have that on a wall than a digital piece of art. I don't know. That's just me. Maybe you're different. Maybe you like the digital nature of it. Like I would rather have this painted on a canvas and hung up on a wall. I think it looks cool. And then you definitely own it. If it's physical, you definitely own it. Crypto art versus hand-drawn arts. As an art lover who's involved in both cryptocurrency and NFTs, what does he think about the NFT art trend? What does it mean for the future of art as a whole? This will be interesting. Looking back in 2021, one can't replace the other because you can't really compare their value, but I believe they will continue to grow alongside one another. His answer goes to show that despite NFT art having become a hot trend or fad, there are still people who prefer tangible art. Yes. NFT art just gives people more options, especially those who appreciate certain forms of art that cannot be drawn by hand. That is such a great logo. I love that. And yes, it does make a face. Oh yeah, look at all these sold. Sold. NFTs versus environmental issues. Apart from the claim that crypto art is not real art, I would say it's real art. Because literally this had to be drawn. It's also said to be partially responsible for destroying the planet. Someone who's environmentally conscious. Oh yeah, that because doesn't cryptocurrency take like a large amount of server bandwidth? So you need servers to run, and that takes electricity, and it's just. I think we should separate art from environmental issues. For example, when someone makes ceramic art, a certain amount of clay, water, and fuel goes into that process, and it takes thousands of years for those resources to be replenished. Does it mean that the particular ceramic art destroys the environment? Probably not. NFTs for me are just another platform for art. As for environmental conservation, I believe that the digital world will be advanced enough to the point where we can just rely on solar energy. I think it'll be much more fun then. Problem with solar energy is we have to figure out a way to hold that energy for a long time and not have it degrade. That is like the biggest issue with solar right now. If they can solve batteries or storing it, I think it'll be pretty decent. Obviously, there's areas of the world that don't get a lot of sunlight, which makes it challenging. But it'll just have to be more efficient converting the energy. While you have art in the eyes of the government, many artists have spoken to, we have spoken to previously agreed that if the government was more supportive of art, local art scene would be thriving. People would learn to appreciate it more. Yeah, educational system has been designed to turn students into robots. That is very poignant. That is extremely poignant. Won't go too in depth there because that's not what this channel is about, but it is very poignant. Keep creating your art because who knows, one day it might be of interest to someone out there. Exactly. A lot of famous artists had no money. They weren't able to sell anything until they died, or like many years after they died. So if anything, just keep making art and maybe one day it'll hit. Maybe you're not here to see it, but it is what it is. I mean, your name lives on it, at least. If you want to create a collection, everything that you produce has to be cohesive and consistent. And also, most artists do it for the joy it brings them. So. I'd prefer to buy pottery from War if given the chance. Yeah. Get all my money if he started to sell his pottery. Includes that he enjoys creating NFT art so much. New collections will be coming soon in the future. There will also be other forms of art available like ceramics. There you go. Yeah, NFTs was a weird one. It was a very weird one. It was big and it was gone. Kind of like, and we haven't talked about it in a while. Hey, anybody remember Stanley Cups? When people were literally fighting each other in the stores for those? Doesn't seem to be the case nowadays. That one came and went pretty fast. Although people still use them, obviously. I think overall rush, feel and appeal of those has settled a bit. But yeah, it's always funny watching those trends kind of come in and then leave. Come in and then leave. All right, back to the document. In picking favorite foods, War chose mangosteens, and Yin said, if I disregard the consequences, oysters. So we can assume that whilst he likes them, they don't like him. War's been publicly open on his sexuality, stating that he is bi, whereas Yin has chosen not to discuss the topic. Totally his right, right? I love oysters. Oh my God. Oh. Oysters on the half shell. So good. Maybe a little cocktail sauce. A little red wine vinegar on there. Maybe a little, I don't know, what's the other? Horseradish, I guess. Just so many opportunities for flavor. Oh, it's so good. They are both outspoken on LGBT issues. However, and last year took part in a pride parade and talked about the importance of equality and how acting in LGBT-centered shows, their wording, taught them to be this way.
ก็ดีใจครับที่ปีนี้ก็มาเป็นส่วนหนึ่งนะจริงๆเวลาผ่านไปไวมากครับปีที่แล้วผมก็มาเดินดุ่มๆดูพาเลทแต่ว่าปีนี้ก็ได้เข้าร่วมครับดีใจมาก
That's funny to go from spectator to in it
เยอะแบบเยอะตั้งแต่ตอนงานยังไม่เริ่มยังไม่เปิดเลยครับก็ดีใจที่คนให้ความสนใจในเดือนพรายมันมากๆเลยครับ
ดีเลยครับผมว่าดีมันแสดงให้เห็นถึงความกำลังจะเป็นสากลเข้าไปเรื่อยๆในทุกทีครับก็ดีใจแทนทุกคนด้วย
ก็จริงๆแล้วผมรู้สึกว่าก็ เรื่องถ่ายทำใช่ไหมครับก็มีอุปสรรคครับเรื่องของสภาพชัดเจนว่าเราอยากให้ทุกคนมามีความสุขในวันเกิดของเราให้แฟนๆได้มาเจอมาสนุกด้วยกันใช่มาม่วนมาจอยไปด้วยไหม
That is so many mics. Oh my gosh. Everybody's got to get their logo on it too. Clip is long, but it shows thoughtful answers.
เราก็อยากเห็นประเทศมันไม่ได้กระจุกอยู่แค่ในกรุงเทพมันจะไม่มีคำว่าชนบทแล้วกันมันจะมีคำว่าจังหวัดนี้แล้วก็มีความเจริญที่แบบว่ากระจายออกไปเราเปิดเป็นรัฐแล้วก็นั่นแหละคนต่างจังหวัดจะได้ไม่ต้องเข้ามาในกรุงเทพเขาสามารถทำงานที่บ้านได้เลยเดี๋ยวนี้เทคโนโลยีมันก็ก้าวไกลแล้วมันก็เริ่มพัฒนาไปเรื่อยๆแล้วครับ
That is kind of cool with the technology as it is right now. Obviously, rural areas are totally possible. Like you can work remotely and live anywhere. You could live in the middle of nowhere and still get internet access. Satellite internet, you know, Starlink being one of them. You can get fast internet anywhere. You could live out in the middle of nowhere, your own plot of land, and just be on your own and work a big time job. Like it's pretty fascinating how technology is making rural areas more possible to live in. We're seeing some people like move out of big cities even with major jobs and they're working just fine. Kind of interesting. Kind of makes me wonder if cities will be less populated going forward and people will just move out to try to get, you know, a little bit closer to nature, if you will.
ดีครับถ่ายทำไปได้ค่อนข้างราบรื่น
Oh, they're talking about Jack and Joker.
ของผมหลักๆเป็นสุขภาพครับตอนเตรียมตัวนี่ปกติดีเลยแต่ว่าพอไปถ่ายอาจจะด้วยอากาศที่เปลี่ยนแล้วก็ฝุ่นเยอะอะไรเงี้ยก็นิดหน่อยแต่ว่ามันเพิ่งผ่านไป 3-4 คิวหรือ5แล้วนะเพิ่งผ่านไปประมาณ5คิวก็เลยอ่ะมันยังเหลืออีกเยอะเรายังสรุปไม่ได้
Always obstacles. Always. That's a good point. My family's in a northern province, and only if one of my baby cousins, 16, has to go to Bangkok to learn a trade isn't farming. Interesting. Yeah, absolutely. And what's fascinating is if they learn, you know, if they get a job in some sort of aspect that can be remote, then they can move back and just live a rural, quiet life while making decent money for where they're living. Honestly, if you're making, you know, big city money in a rural area, you're like way richer than you would be if you were living in the city, which is very cool. Trying to be an accountant. Oh, that's huge. That's nice. That's nice, especially coming from like a farming area. Yeah, that's a huge change for sure. Being an accountant, you can definitely do that online too. You can do like online consulting and all that stuff, start your own firm. Certainly people out there need it as well. Like it's definitely a go anywhere, do anything kind of position or profession, if you will. It was previously mentioned that Yin was discovered by Rookie Entertainment Group from photos from a university event. That's impressive. These are some photos from the day that Yin has shared. Huh. That is really cool. Wow. Almost like Justin Bieber getting or getting signed from YouTube. Like, wow, I wasn't expecting to, you know, land something big, but hey, I'll take it. Raising money for Jack and Joker, Yin even sold his car. Reminds me of Sylvester Stallone selling his dog. Do Rocky. There's rumors that one, possibly War, had mortgaged his house too, but there's no confirmation for that one. That's, you know, that's a labor of love. It takes money, right? Takes money to make money. Famous saying. That's impressive. He sold his car for it. I give him a lot of credit. It's tough going out on your own, you know, not being a contract person, contract star, or whatever you want to call it. They've earned a lot of respect for doing that. And it was a good product. People liked Jack and Joker. So, pretty impressive. In an interview, Ward chooses the color green as his lucky color to represent him. I think that his legal name, Wana, which means forest. Okay. He also added that green is a color that attracts wealth. Well, when you're out on your own, doing your own things, you definitely need to attract some wealth. That's funny. After some joking, Yin chose blue, noting that as children, his brother would always take the red character and be the leader, so he would settle for the blue as second in command. The red as leader reference makes me think he's likely talking about Power Rangers, or at the very least, the Japanese series PR was based on. Yeah, absolutely. Power Rangers, yeah. Sense. I also thought of Rooster Teeth's Red versus Blue, the Halo cart. I don't know if you call it a cartoon, but the Halo show. That was funny. It was so funny. Fan event game. Such games are agreed upon ahead of time. This one involved handcuffs and a blindfold. Hello. What? What's going on, Instagram? Oh, there's no .com. Un momento. Fix this link real quick. Boom. Do it. Handcuff and blindfold. They can't even stop playing like that even on stage. Gosh, it became an addiction. Where can you see the full video? War can be seen as a weapon in those clothes. That's so funny. Oh my gosh. Good grief. Their production company was made along with their friends, Prom and Bonds, which is why it's called YWBP. Makes sense. Prom and Bonds were both in Love Mechanics as supporting roles. More recently, Jack and Joker. Prom was also in End of Love trilogy with YinWar. So their friendships go back to the beginning of their careers. It's always tricky getting into business with friends. It can be very tricky, but hopefully, obviously, since they've been around each other for so long, seems like it'll work out. Bonds has since left the company. All right. I was so hopeful too. You know, I said, hey, they've been around each other for a long time. Hopefully that just, this was because of career choices and not because the group are no longer friends. Okay. All right. He's still, you left the end of 2020. He still very much publicly supports the others. That's good. That is good. Good to hear. It's usually pretty ugly when people leave companies and businesses and stuff like that. So hopefully, or not hopefully, but I'm happy to hear it's good. YWP of YWBP celebrating Chinese New Year with the photo shoot. Nice. Love the theme, Red. Awesome. That's cool. That is cool. That goes hard. That goes hard. They are best friends, so it's fine. I gotta start taking more photos not smiling, because this is awesome. It's just not smiling at all. Fonz is missing in these photos. Yin being entirely normal. All right. Clearly not. Common Mark giving interview, asking fans. Oh, gee. Walk normally. What about the cameraman's like, nope. Yin be like, I am not here, or I am invisible, or I am a ghost passing by. You can't see, but I can see you. So he won't disturb the people, but still did. Yeah, that's exactly why he did it. That's so funny. Or meanwhile has claimed, I'm numb to pain. I like it. I like to get tortured. Excuse me? What? What the helly? So he's not the normal one in the partnership. Yeah, it turns out. Dang, I'm numb to pain. I like it. I like to get tortured. Another quote is literally, I'm addicted to masochism. Okay. These came from an edit on Instagram. Perhaps context has been removed, but I can't find an innocent context for them. I don't think there is an innocent context for those. Maybe it's like, you know, I stubbed my toe. I'm addicted to masochism or something. And this is how they advertised face cream. Entirely oh, God. Oh, no. Who doesn't put it on like that? Come on. Isn't that highly relatable for all of us? On May 11th, Yin took to social media to comment on how fans read into body language. Oh, here we go. And subscribe feelings and storylines to fit shipping agendas. Oh, boy. Some actors encourage such things. Think Joondunk as a prime example. But Yin and War have been vocal and very clear about how they view their partnership and friendship. Yeah, I mean, I've reacted to quite a few of those reading into body language videos. I don't think there's anything... As long as they're comfortable with it, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. If the actors themselves have said things like, don't do this, or that's weird, cut it out, then obviously it's weird. But if they're cool with it, then I don't see there's any issue with it. But yeah, it definitely makes sense to kind of get them to comment on it, at least first. Otherwise, it's just creepy in a way. Yin and War have been vocal and very clear about how they view their partnership and friendship. Yin pointed out that angles of photos have been cherry-picked to fit a narrative and that no cheek kiss was given. All right, let's blow this up. I mean, it's not even close. Like, we got gap here. Original tweet. I've seen people addicted to pain, but Yin, he's addicted to cheek kisses now? What is happening to hearts in 2025? Referring to first video, Yin was like, I wanted YinWar to kiss my cheek, but he wouldn't, so I just did it myself. With this kind of vibe, they're definitely dating. Yin's reply, wow, it didn't even land, the kiss. Yet people still find angles adjusting lighting just to present false information. Nowadays, people on social media don't really filter. It's unbearable. As Yin himself says, literally means I can't stand it anymore, showing his frustration, and who can blame him? I think the issue is with tagging the actors when they are clear they don't like it, like what happened here. Yeah, tagging them in it is odd. I mean, I guess you could just tag June Dunk. He'd probably be open to receiving all of it. Or says that any spare time he has, he'll go straight to his pottery room. I mean, that's got to be just therapeutic at this point. YinWar and animals. Oh, the little piggies. That was adorable. War believes he's able to see beauty in things most people can't. I mean, that is a bold claim. Maybe it's true. Gives him an outlook that is different and creative. Hey, if it does, good for him. Awesome. Fan summary on Reddit of their journey so far. Oh boy. Pretty new to the YinWar fandom, and I found myself curious about how everything started. From their first meeting to how they ended up to where they are now. Realized that while longtime fans know their story, newer fans like me might be a bit lost. Jung's been writing his own June Dunk fanfic lately. He's on part 4, I think. Wow. There you go. Tag June Dunk. Maybe I'll give him some ideas. So I decided to do what any curious new fan would do, dig through every interview, every story, every breadcrumb. I mean, that is involved. That sounds like a lot of work they ever shared and pieced together their journey. Here's what you'll find in the clip. How they entered the industry, their first impressions of each other, the values and principles that guide them, how YinWar see each other, why they chose to go independent, future of YinWar, the origin of the fandom name, how much their fandom means to them, and their plans for the future. All right, let's see here. First impression of each other. When Yin and War first met, it wasn't instant sparks or effortless friendship. It was two introverted souls. Oh, that's always the best. Stuck in the same room who preferred staying on their own comfort zone rather than forcing a conversation. That just explained literally my entire life. An introvert, not wanting to be there, very uncomfortable. If someone talks to me, great. But I'm not bringing up any sort of conversation to anybody else. The part where, quote, they were secretly sending silent distress signal to each other, too awkward, too shy, self-conscious to actually make the first move. How adorable are they? Internal panicking, externally doing absolutely nothing about it. Sometimes the strongest bonds don't start with fireworks. They start with two introverts quietly panicking in each other's presence. Number 2, how YinWar's genuine friendship took root. We become close not because of work, we're close because of personal things, personality, and such. It wasn't about using each other to get famous. Interesting. That seems like it's a little... That seems like a little look at the industry, honestly. That could be a little critique of the industry. We are genuinely friends. It's a real bond. Shift began at a workshop. They both decided to drop the walls and break the ice. Slowly, step by step, they started to understand each other's personalities, quirks, and depths. All they needed was the space to just be. Two beautiful introverts, each cautiously cracking open their souls. Well, I guess souls, too. And when they finally did, they found someone who actually understood them. No judgment, no need to put on a front, just pure, raw connection. Rare. Slow, quiet, emotional version of building a house, brick by brick. Relationship grounded in sincerity, how Yin and War see each other, respect each other's skills, but also acts as each other's safe space. Geniuses in their own ways. Yin earned a first-class honors in engineering, achievement made more impressive, considering he was juggling both work, commitments, and studies. Time, incredibly hardworking. Embodiment of hard work meets ambition. Or creative powerhouse, modern day polymath like Leonardo da Vinci. I mean, that's high praise. Dripping with artistic and musical talent. When asked to describe each other as animals, Yin compares War to a border collie. Oh yeah, I've read that before. War says Yin resembles a wasp, not one to sting without reason. But when he does act or speak, it's powerful, unforgettable, strikes at the heart. Take pride in each other's strengths. When opportunity didn't knock, YinWar broke the door down and built YWBP. We're doing it by ourselves. We stand on our own feet. I mean, that's impressive. That is extremely impressive. We did it for the fans. This isn't fan service. This is soul service. Oh, hey, wow. Dang, that should be the tagline of the frickin' business. That's good. That's real good. This isn't fan service. This is soul service. That's good. Wow. Copyright that. Trademark that. Done for the ones who stayed, the fans who never stopped believing. Nobody offered them the series. Passion project for their own production house, crafted through relentless hard work. Or made it clear they craved a space where nobody could dilute their vision or force a narrative that wasn't real. Yin wanted to move beyond the shallow shipping for marketing gimmicks. This was their shot to show the world who they really were, artists, creators, not just pretty faces shoved into a fan service hell. My God. I gotta say, I really respect their choice here and their stance. Very interesting. Obviously, there's a big market for the fan service and stuff like that. And obviously, if you're a fan of people that put in time for fan service, you're going to like it, right? More access, get more fun content with your favorite creator. Like it is great for the fans, but also it can be kind of soul sucking, I'm assuming, for the talent. Let's be real, opportunity in this industry doesn't always come when you're ready. Who knows? Maybe they're going to start like a revolution or something. Like more are going to go this route, or they join up with them. And YWBP becomes YWBPASDZYX. Were they scared? Hell yes. Yin admitted he was seriously worried about returning to acting after a gap, about whether the magic they once had could spark again. They weren't chasing fame, they were doing it for the fans. Even if the returns weren't immediate, even if the risk was sky high. Future of YinWar, fame fades, the bond remains. Even if YinWar isn't shining in the entertainment world in 10 years, their story will live on in something far more enduring than fame. It'll be the bond they've built, one rooted in friendship, loyalty, and shared journey that no amount of time or distance can erase. That is true, fame does fade. But as long as we have each other. Beyond ships and numbers, YinWar's heartfelt thanks to the real supporters. We're so glad that you love us for who we are. No need to follow and cheer for us to show numbers of our fame. Loving each other within our group is enough. I'm already happy. Amen. Amen. I have that same kind of feeling for the channel, honestly. I'm just happy with where I am now. And, you know, we're all sharing this time. We're sharing this moment. Pretty awesome. I mean, I literally could not be happier. Yin and War have always made it clear they never built their bond on their careers, on fan service, or fabricated personas. Boy, these are some big shots, like body blows to the industry. Each time that's mentioned. True love and support aren't measured by presence or numbers, they're felt in the heart. They welcome fans to prioritize their own lives, knowing that real connections last without pressure or expectations. Bold acceptance speech, the unapologetic thank you. Not handed a crown, they built the throne first. Quality over speed. Jack and Joker ended with an open ending. Not abandoned, it's on pause. Because financial recovery is real. Success doesn't instantly mean unlimited cash flow. Yeah, exactly. They're not being intentionally vague, but they can't make false promises either. Monumental personal involvement or investment, excuse me. YinWar bankrolled the series themselves. They took a huge risk. They built it over years. Hopefully they start getting investors. I would hope they would. Like, certainly, especially with the success of Jack and Joker, hopefully people, that invest money are like, okay, they can put out a product. Let's see what they can do. Trust the builders who already proved they can create magic when given the space to do it right. Yeah, absolutely.
ชื่อในวงการบันเทิงแล้วแต่สุดท้ายไอ้ชื่อเนี้ยมันก็คือชื่อของเพื่อนกันเพราะฉะนั้นก็ซึ้งนี่แหละชื่อดอมชื่อไหนชื่อดอมแบบหมูยอทำไมอ่ะคือมันเกิดจากว่าพวกผม2คนเนี่ยเขินน่ะเขินที่แบบว่ามาตั้ง
Both of us were too shy to name it. Both seem very wise and deep thinkers. I can see how fan service is seen like a standard in the industry, so it seems unavoidable. But even when I see fan service clips of them or videos with fan servicey edits, I just take it as surface level and fun, cute content because I can see they do have genuine friendship and respect for each other. Very interesting. To be continued. To be continued. All right. I gotta say, I respect the heck out of them for, number one, going on their own. That takes a lot of courage, we'll say. Censor myself a little bit. It takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of courage. Belief in yourself. The knowledge that you don't know everything about it, but you're willing to put in the time and the work. That is huge. Huge. Nothing made well ever comes from just throwing it together. You got to work at it, right? Takes time, takes money, all that stuff. So, kudos. Hopefully investors take notice and start bankrolling it. I mean, certainly the fans would probably help with that. But hopefully some legit investors start investing in them. Shall see. We shall see. All right. Now this is the last video before we kick off this week. Trying to catch and rescue an injured wild pigeon. This is from the AmazingPhil channel. Haven't watched any of their shows yet, but I like them as people. Agreed. Just from what I've seen and read, they seem to be very knowledgeable and deep thinking. And you know what? The industry needs rebels. It needs rebels. They kind of bucked the tradition of fan service and, being a contract talent or actor or singer or whatever. And they kind of went their own way. It seems like they're able to put out good product by doing that. So who knows? Maybe more people will join them. Maybe, other production companies will start up featuring couples or friends. So who knows? Maybe they just changed the whole industry and we don't even know it yet. So, all right, let's move on to AmazingPhil. Obviously, we've done a lot of Dan content and Dan and Phil content, but we haven't done a lot of Phil content. So this will be very, very interesting. Looking forward to it. Extremely funny. Day 9. Oh my gosh. I tell you the story of my adventurous attempt to rescue Steve the pigeon. Here we go.
So, that's bare flesh. I am wearing shorts. If you saw my houseplant tour video, you'll know all about Steve, the friendly pigeon, who I fed once and he never left. Must have been some real good bird seed, like the McFlurry of seed, because he's just stuck around since then. He mainly enjoys chilling on the wall, aggressively cooing at me through the window, and causes me immense guilt every time it rains. Let me in, bitch. At one point, he became so confident, he tried to move in. What are you doing? You are on the wrong side of the glass. Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Oh no. That looked a bit traumatizing, but he was totally fine. This was all fun and games until one day I got a tweet from Reed is Doodling on Twitter, obviously.
I don't know why closed captioning was on automatically, but I guess I'll keep it.
On Twitter. Where else they're going to send a tweet? And they said, please help Steve. His foot is injured and he might get sick. Ruh-roh. I tried to get a closer look at him, but he's been following social distancing rules better than most people I've seen on Instagram. He likes to keep a 1 to 2 meter distance, and so should you. I finally got a good look while distracting him with a mountain of seed, and it looked like he had something tied around his foot, claw, feet. They have feet? Pigeons have feet. I googled it, and apparently if
Claw,
it doesn't get
foot,
treated,
feet.
the entire foot can fall off because they can't tend to it with their little beaks, and then they'll die, and then other birds might eat the foot. Gross. Anyway, Steve was in peril. I didn't need a moral obligation to save a pigeon, but I had it. This was my responsibility. No one else was going to do anything. So I had to save Steve. The first thing I did was call the RSPCA, the Royal Society for the Protection of Cool Animals. I don't know what it stands for. It's basically the main animal charity in the UK. However, their automated phone line was just like, we're so busy. We've got so many corona puppies. A dog is for life, not just for a pandemic. People, they could only help if it was an emergency. Was this an emergency?
That is sad.
I mean,
what happened?
It's a pigeon.
Crazy
It's
that
a
people
wild,
just abandon their
feral bird.
pets.
It's not a baby horse trapped in an active volcano. So I decided to email them just to make sure what an emergency is. So I was expecting them to be like, nah, mate. But I immediately got a reply. Yes, this is an emergency. Call us right now. So I gave him a call. Firstly, I said that my name was Steve. Steve. Oh, my name. I thought you meant the pigeon's name. And I explained the intense emergency situation.
I've named the pigeon already.
Foot. I think there's something around it, like a wire. They gave him an official emergency pigeon incident number, which it's not a sentence I thought
So
I'd say.
official.
And they said they do have officers that might be able to help out, but it'd be better if I could catch the pigeon myself and take him to a local vet. How the hell do you catch a pigeon? I googled it. One method is to like throw a blanket or a coat or something over the pigeon so it doesn't get a chance to fly away. But I figured this might be
Royal Society for the
traumatizing.
Prevention
So I
of
didn't want
Cruelty
scare him
to
off and never
Animals
see
is
him
the
again.
name.
The other method
Appreciate
would be to do
the
some kind
context.
of Looney Tunes style stick and box trap. But then you've got the stress of trying to get the pigeon from out under the box safely. The option I decided was to buy a mini pet carrier and then like an evil psychologist, or I guess a nice animal psychologist, to Pavlovianly train Steve to voluntarily want to go inside the box, and then he wouldn't hate me like I'd committed some kind of grand pigeon betrayal. Inside, I've put a towel so he's comfy, and also I'm going to put some seeds right at the back. I think this might scare him, so we're gonna have to think of a way for that not to happen. At first, he fully hated the box. As soon as I opened the window and he saw the box, he flew away. So this might be a long process of teaching him.
That's crazy that they're like, well, first you need to catch them yourself. What?
This is a friend. Just a perfectly innocent box of snacks with a big metal door. Wait, who the F are you? Pause. Wait. Suddenly, Steve had a girlfriend. I'm pretty sure this was a girl, as loads of other pigeons came along and tried to do a puffed up pigeon male dance around her, and she was like, piss you, I want Steve. I named her Scraggy, which means ragged or untidy in form or appearance. Because, well,
Dang.
and they've been cleaning each other's feathers and sharing food. Cute. But this posed a problem because I didn't want to catch Scraggy too. So I tried to only train him while he was alone. So the plan was to catch him, but then I also had to release him back in the same place so his bird wife wouldn't be like, when will my husband return from the war? So the training began. Over the next couple of weeks, I only fed Steve and occasionally Scraggy too by only throwing seed into the back of the box. Yes, the smell of the food is too strong. No, scare. And slowly but surely, he started to go in. He's in. Oh my god. So if I can get closer. Nope.
No.
He's too clever. During this time of trying to get
Steve
to
is
go in the
clever.
box,
That's
I emailed
great.
about 4 local vets saying, hello, pigeon emergency. Please help. 2 didn't reply. And 1 was exceptionally rude. Most vets do not have a duty of care to treat wild animals. This lies with the Wildlife Trust and the RSPCA. Hope this clears it up. The capital letters really helped. Kind regards.
Kind
Paul.
regards.
Do I need to get Larry? Why'd you hate
You're on your
Steve
own.
so much,
Kind
Paul?
regards.
Who hurt you, Paul? Thankfully, I did get a friendly reply from one vet. Good morning, sorry for the delay. Do you still have the pigeon and you need someone to take a look at it? Please, take my pigeon. So I emailed them twice back, but then they started to ghost me. So I plucked up the courage and decided to make another actual phone call. I was just wondering if there's any chance I could bring him in and you could remove some string around his foot. Because he's limping and he seems sad.
It's limping and seems sad.
Wednesday. Yes. Oh, that'd be amazing. We have a vet. Steve's gonna be saved. Oh, that is such good news.
Still gotta catch him.
Now we just have to try and get him in a box between 12 and 3 on Wednesday. So I had to hope he would specifically be on my balcony on Wednesday morning.
Right.
And he would voluntarily go in the box and then I could trap him. No pressure. Back to the box. Training had gone super well, but he would still run away every time I went to the door to close it. So it's clear for this plan to work, I had to do more to this plan, but I'd run out of time. Wednesday morning. No Steve to be seen, of course. Steve. Now's your time. A couple of hours later,
Steve?
praise Jesus and the pigeon gods, Steve showed up.
Hey.
It was then I had the galaxy brain idea. I'm gonna tie this phone charger around the cage box and then should be able to pull it.
Nice. Good idea.
Closed. So the plan was, Dan would pull the string cable while trying to record the action, and I would run over, close the cage, and try not to get my fingers pecked off. It was now or never. We have one shot. If we F this up, Steve would never come back to the balcony. This was the only chance we were going to get to save him. It was time.
In.
Go. It worked! We had Steve!
Sorry, Steve. We're going to rescue you.
Your friend will be back soon. She just patiently waited outside. I don't know why I'm doing this. She's not a meerkat now. And she waited as if Steve had been invited into our apartment for some kind of exclusive seed party or something. Now all I had to do is walk 10 minutes down the road with a wild pigeon inside a box, which is probably the most weird or suspicious thing someone could be doing on a Wednesday afternoon.
Could you imagine if you saw him?
Where it accidentally released
It's like, hey, can I get a photo? And why do you have a
Here's
pigeon?
my pigeon walking outfit. Steve, it's your first time in a lift. How do you feel? He's actually quite chill now that he's in the box. Mainly because I'd filled it with bird seed, like some kind of Hansel and Gretel situation without me being a child-eating witch. The trek began to the vet, and for some
pigeon-eating
reason,
witch.
on that day, London was an actual obstacle course. We had people carrying ladders across the pavement, honking bikes, honking people. There was just a whole lot of honking.
This time last year, if you asked me what I was going to be doing now, I wouldn't think I'd be wearing this mask while taking a pigeon called Steve to the vet.
Steve was generally fine. There was a few aggressive coos, like
so amazing.
And Dan had to stop me walking pigeon first into an old woman. But apart from that, we were all right. I got to the vet, who was taking social distancing very seriously, almost as if medical professionals think that we should be social distancing and wearing masks. Who knew? I gave them Steve, and they said that they could remove the string, and he would probably be fine. I didn't like this probably. But they said they'd call me when they had an update. Apparently,
This was released August 2020, so that gives you a reference for the timing.
It's quite unusual for someone to bring in a wild pigeon.
the wait began. Would my son be okay? Steve's been at the vet for about 2 hours, and they said they'd call me, but I just got a voicemail. I feel like
This is an aggressive foot shot. That is an aggressive foot shot.
I'm scared they're gonna say like his wings fell off, so we have to put him to sleep or something. It's only 30 seconds, so I feel like if it was sad news, it would be like a minute, because you're not gonna say he died and then hang up.
He
It's 30
died.
seconds. Anyway, right, we're gonna listen.
He's got a text. He's
Steve,
dead.
Be okay. Yes. No. Steve's okay. Fireworks.
Lose a
Celebration
toe.
effects. More fireworks.
More
I guess
fireworks.
He had to lose a toe for whatever was wrong with his foot, but she said he's fine. I think I want to go get him now. So
Dang.
let's go. So we immediately returned to pick up Steve.
Steve is healed.
You okay, Steve?
He's quite chill. They gave him some bread.
Bread?
Yeah.
We don't even give him bread.
I know, what a treat. It's like he's gone to a 5-star restaurant. So Steve is healed. Sadly, he lost a toe in the process. Apparently, it had already lost all circulation, so they just have to...
Oh.
But apparently pigeons are fine with that, and they can go on with 4 toes instead of... How many toes they've got? It's okay, Steve. We're nearly home.
I got Steve home to release him exactly where I caught him. This was the moment I was just so worried
Where's
that
Scraggy
Steve
at?
would never forgive me, and he'd fly away forever.
Is she still going to find him attractive without the toe? That's the question. That's the question I have.
Treat, home. I'm not stressed. You are free. Yes. Straight for food. I thought he'd be scared of me, but he's just like, food?
And he sat down with Scraggy as if nothing had happened. Not that he'd been abducted into a weird dark food box or brought across London by two giants and put in a strange room where his toe fell off. Nah, he was fine if he just had some seed. We should all take some inspiration about how chill Steve was. A week later and his foot is way better. He's standing, he's trying to mount Scraggy. I'll save you the clip of that. You don't get demonetized. They've also been picking random twigs off the floor and flying off with them, so maybe they even have a nest. Baby Steves. And the most interesting thing I did this summer during a global pandemic was try to rehabilitate a wild pigeon. Just Phil things. Thanks to Reed, the pigeon expert, for suggesting that I save Steve, and also to the kind vet and the charity people. I'm quite emotionally attached to this bird now. We definitely have a relationship where he knows this is a safe territory to hang out, and as long as he stares at me for hours and aggressively coos, I'll feed him. I think I'll start weaning him off the seed a little bit now though, so he knows to forage for food without me.
Right. You don't want to make him dependent on you. Because at that point, it's a pet.
If you're happy Steve survived, and I'll put some links around my face where you can subscribe or visit my shop or watch my last video where I tell you some awkward closeted moments. So if you want to do any of that, click away. I hope you're doing well, and I will say goodbye to you in pigeon. So,
but a thumbs up for Steve, even though he lost a toe. That's tough. It would be tough. Let's go ahead and check out some more information on Phil. Kind of round out the Dan and Phil team, if you will. Link down below in the YouTube description for the original video of Phil's. Go throw it some love. Also, obviously, check out his channel. He's got other great videos. And I will throw that link in the Twitch chat for those watching live. There you go. That is an amazing story. Amazing story. The fact that he was able to, after all that time and attempts, get him into the carrier was impressive. All right. Phil Lester, English YouTuber and radio host. Best known for AmazingPhil and Dan and Phil Games, which as of August 2024 have 3.87 and 2.89 million subs, respectively. Known for his frequent collaboration with Daniel Howell, of course, part of the entertainment duo Dan and Phil. Lester appeared on the Sunday Times 2019 list of top influencers in the UK. Cat thoroughly enjoyed watching that, I bet. I bet. Before making vlogging and radio presenting his full-time profession, Lester's early jobs include being a dog walker and car washer, working at a vet clinic. There you go. Had a little experience there. And at W.H. Smith and appearing in Faint Heart. Graduated with a Bachelor of Arts with honors in English and Linguistics. Masters of Art in Video Post-Production. That definitely helps with visual effects. Wow. That is good experience to have. I wish I had that experience. Mine has all been very self-taught, as you could probably tell. At age 19, posted his first vlog titled Phil's Video Blog on his main YouTube channel, AmazingPhil. Since then, has posted over 350 videos on his channel. My God. That just goes to show, you know, I've posted 1,100 videos. Not about the number of videos. Oh my gosh. He reached 1 million subs in 2013, 2 million in 2014, so he doubled it up. 3 million in 2015, 4 in 2017. Also made a second channel, Less AmazingPhil, which is very funny. That's a funny name. He occasionally broadcasts hour-long live shows on this channel, as well as YouNow live streams, but has since used the channel to archive more recent. Obviously, the Dan and Phil Crafts channel. Appeared as a contestant on The Weakest Link. Really? Making it to the final round. He also played a role of Tim in 2018 film Faint Heart. Appeared in a Confused.com advertisement later that year. Time of making an advert, he had around 27,000 subs. Wow. Wow. Early adopters. That's what we call them. Interviewed by Channel 4 News about the increasing popularity of YouTube and video blogging as a profession. Lester and Howell had voice cameo appearances in the UK cinema release of Big Hero 6 as Technician 1 and 2. However, this version is not in the UK home release. Voiced 2 gorilla princes in the episode The Lost Gorillas and Disney Junior's The Lion Guard. Wow. So they're doing voice stuff too. Pretty interesting. Voice stuff. Voice acting, I think is what it's called. Voice stuff. It's a technical term. Created an app, the 7-Second Challenge, based on a YouTube challenge started by Lester in 2014. Discontinued in 2019. Duo released a party board game via Big Potato. That's a funny name. Truth Bombs. Obviously, the book, tours, YouTube Red originals. Oh my gosh, remember those days? Won some awards, nominated for awards. There you go. 9 times Phil Lester was too pure for this world. I'm assuming Steve is going to make the list. What comes to mind? Sunshine, angels, sweetness. What do we associate with all those things? Phil Lester, of course. Why can't I go back to the gym? For all of us who's ever set foot in the gym, this video screams relatable. We too are completely incapable of telling our personal trainers when something is hurting for fear of awkwardness or embarrassing ourselves. Phil, however, attempted to tell his personal trainer how uncomfortable he was multiple times and was ignored, result of which is fairly traumatic. Will Dan and Phil survive Australia? Sometimes we get the urge to just wrap up good people and protect them from the dangers of the outside world. This is one of those times. Phil and Dan don shark and kangaroo costumes, respectively, to discuss whether they would survive the wilds of Australia. The world's biggest collection of things that could probably kill you. Fortunately, the two survived their trip and will be returning for their second stage, so hopefully they won't be killed by giant kangaroos. Reading my old diary. Oh my gosh. Many of us kept a diary at some point. Our 13-year-old selves definitely did. And trust us, it's not a pretty sight and should never see the light of day. But Phil was willing to brave reading his, not just to himself, but his entire audience. Oh my God. That's wild. I never kept a diary, so I wouldn't be able to do that, but that would be fascinating. Phil has plenty of embarrassing stories about trying to impress his crush. The love letter is super sweet. Mysteries of the townies has yet to be solved. How not to meet Emma Watson. Tells the story of how he met the stunning Emma Watson. In all seriousness, how does one react to seeing Hermione Granger in real life? We'd have struggled to make a coherent sentence too. Or most likely stared like Phil. At least he didn't actually do any of his attempts to speak to her in real life. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I've never met somebody that's famous like that, so I don't know how I would react. Would I just be quiet? Man, I've only had one interaction with somebody, and it was literally just smiling and nodding really quick. That's all I got out. So maybe I would just stare. I got attacked by a squirrel. Once again, we really just want to wrap Phil up in a blanket and keep him safe. It seems even nature isn't adverse to attacking him. This is why we never go outside, Mom. It's actually dangerous, and the proof is in this video. Yes, it is. Look, I can't dictate your life, of course, but I would say just don't go outside. I have over 1,100 videos on the Todd Reacts YouTube channel. You can just watch those. Stay inside, watch those for an entire lifetime. I'm not dictating your life, but I am giving you options. Why I Was a Weird Kid series. What were the strangest things you thought were true as a child? That being a grown-up would be fun. And having a job would not be soul-crushing. They probably have nothing of those misconceptions Phil had up until he was 14 years old. Phil would sit down in the shower. He wanted a broken arm, and he lied that someone he had tied his shoelaces together when he'd done it himself. Okay, maybe that last one is less pure and more concerning. Smoking fail. Now, of course, we all know how bad smoking is and how easy it is to succumb to peer pressure. Here, Phil tells the story of how he inadvertently joined a gang as a teenager. In an attempt to fit in, he almost smoked a cigarette. Thankfully, his mom caught him. We even get an appearance from his amazing mother to confirm that Phil is definitely still grounded. R.I.P. Simon. Cast your mind back to a distant time of 2011. You may remember the epic saga regarding the life of Phil's Triop, Simon. His most memorable moments include surviving in a tank of predators, setting Phil on fire for wearing an Edward Cullen mask. In this touching video, Phil and friends look back on Simon's life, share their favorite memories. Honestly, we still tear up a bit. King of the universe. Epic love fail. In this heartfelt video, Phil discusses, I cannot take him seriously with this haircut. I just can't. I can't. Discusses why he thinks he failed at love in his younger years. The story details his disastrous magic show where he accidentally stabbed himself with a needle. Ouch. Subsequently fainted at the sight of his own blood, all while trying to perform a card trick for the love of his life. A card trick with a needle? That's great. Don't worry, Phil. We still love you. Oh my gosh. YouTube star Phil Lester comes out as gay. This was 2019, July 1st. This looks like the same background. Opened up about his sexuality for the first time. British YouTuber. Blah. Addressed fans on Twitter with a video titled Coming Out to You. Alongside the caption, quote, I felt it was time to share this as hopefully my story will help. In the 7-minute video, the comedian, who boasts nearly 4.2 million subs, came out as gay and reminisced about his childhood whilst advising struggling queer fans on how to deal with their sexuality. There's something quite big I've been meaning to tell you guys, he said. I'm gay, and depending on who you are, you might have known, or it could have been a surprise. Surprise! That's how I should have come out to my parents. Even if you don't totally relate to my story, you might learn something or change your view, or just feel like you're not alone with something you went through. I'm gay, it's great, I'm happy, Phil added, and hopefully you're happy for me too. If not, I hope you have a think about why you want a fellow human to be unhappy and not true to who they are, and that is a healthy mindset to have. Comes just weeks after his comedy partner Daniel Howell, 28-year-old YouTuber, came out with a 45-minute video to his 6.5 million subs. Okay, so they were within a couple weeks. That's interesting. Wonder if they planned that. A couple weeks in between, or did it just not even matter like that? In the clip, Daniel referred to Phil as his soulmate and said queer people exist. Choosing not to accept them is not an option. To anyone watching this that isn't out, okay, you're okay. You were born this way, it's right, and anyone that has a problem with it is wrong. Watch Phil's coming out video. AmazingPhil on the changing nature of YouTube, coming out videos and getting filmers block. That's not surprising. Any sort of creative passion, you know, if you do it for long enough, you will go through that for sure. Or burnout or whatever. 14 years online. Good grief. That was 2020. It was 5 years ago. So now we're talking like 19 years online. Good grief. YouTube was a very different place in 2006. No, 2006. YouTube was a very different place in 2006. It was a time before the likes of PewDiePie, Zoella, I have no idea who that is, and James Charles started collecting millions of followers and earning global recognition. Phil Lester, aka AmazingPhil, began posting videos on the site all those years ago, initially gaining a mere 100 followers in a year before his profile exploded. Over the past 14 years, though, the 33-year-old had garnered a huge fan base, amassing over 4 million subs alone on YouTube and millions of followers across other networks. From videos about making cakes without recipes to reading out the creepiest email he's ever received, Phil's channel continued to grow as the profile of YouTube took off across the world. If you're one of AmazingPhil's millions of fans, you will be able to catch him at YouTube's biggest event, VidCon, of course. You've been on YouTube for 14 years this year. This was 5 years ago. What encouraged you to start your channel back in 2006? Phil said, I can't believe my YouTube channel is now a teenager. Oh my gosh, it's almost 20 at this point. I was inspired by other channels I'd been watching and thought it looked fun, so I gave it a go. It took me a year to reach 100 subs. I was just doing it as a fun hobby. How do you think the role of YouTubers and influencers online has changed in that time? Back in 2006, YouTube was a year old. No one used the word influencer in the same way. Video creators back then shared content just because they wanted to. No one was receiving any payment for what they created. Most of us were just doing it for fun. Now we're in 2020. YouTube has become much more mainstream and is now a full-time job for a lot of creators. As we're the first people to do something like this, I don't know what will happen in the next 10 years, but I think it's going to be exciting. Yeah, that is definitely true. Back then, it was very much a wild place. Like the amount of videos that was just random, well, crap. There were so many weird videos, and you would go down wild rabbit holes of just randomness. There was no rhyme or reason to it. There was barely an algorithm. It was very strange. How long does it take to film and produce a video? Sometimes I get the equivalent of writer's block, and it can be hard to come up with a decent concept for a video, but once the idea is pinned, it normally take me no more than a day to shoot and a couple days to edit. That's the thing. You think that shooting the video would take so long? No, it's the editing. Putting it all together takes so much longer. What's made it easier versus 2006 is that technology has progressed so far that making videos is more affordable now. Absolutely. Anyone can do it with the phone in their pocket. I think my phone is the ultimate piece of kit, because I can basically do almost everything I do online from my phone if I need to. For me, it's an iPad. The iPad's the editing machine, thumbnails, although my thumbnails definitely need some work, as you could probably tell. For me, it's the iPad. It's just a bigger screen than the phone. I need more real estate to be able to see it, obviously. What are your favorite and least favorite parts about being on YouTube? Favorite part would be the incredible opportunities it's led. I've never dreamed about as a kid. Performing a sold-out show at the Dolby Theater in Hollywood was definitely a highlight. Least favorite part is when you sit talking to a camera for 30 minutes and then you realize you haven't pressed record. Oh my. Oh. I have done that at least 3 times that I can remember. In those 1,100 videos, I did that at least 3 times. And of course, I mentioned it in the video that I had already reacted to the video. It just wasn't recording. So it kind of felt, I felt bad about it, obviously. Well, number one, I was angry at myself. I didn't hit record. But I also felt bad because I didn't get the reaction that, is promised. It wasn't my first time watching it. I had to do it again. And it couldn't just be like, well, just not doing it because I already reacted to it. And it just didn't record it. So I was just like, all right, let's make it be known from the jump that this is the second time. And then I just gave my thoughts that I had seen it the first time. Oh, that is such a monumentally annoying occurrence. Oh, it's so bad. So bad. Also, when I filmed in my bedroom, my landlord was a bit concerned to see a camera pointing at my bed. That is true. This setup is weird. It is literally just like all this all this. Monitors, light, camera, mic. It is so strange. It is a very strange setup. It's just part of it, I guess. A lot has been reported about YouTubers and influencers dealing with negative comments online. What approach do you have to dealing with them? When it does pop up, of course, it can hurt. Hard to avoid remembering just one nasty comment over 50 lovely ones. Thankfully, I'm super fortunate to have followers who are mostly kind and respectful. Same. I don't remember a lot of the nasty ones. Usually they get filtered out. YouTube has a very good, like, hate filter through the comments that you rarely ever see them. And I could click in there and see them, but I just choose not to. Why would I do that? Why would I subject myself to that? So they're pretty good at, keeping you from seeing it. And obviously YouTube got rid of the downvote on videos, which is interesting. I mean, I get it, but also creators can still see it in the back end. Like, it's not invisible. We still see the downvotes. So I guess publicly it helps, but privately you're still seeing it. You posted a coming out video last June. How did you feel about it? What do you think of the response you received? Very nervous to post the video, but I'd also been encouraged by other YouTubers such as Dan, of course, Eugene Lee Yang from Try Guys, formerly from Try Guys, who had posted coming out videos that month to really amazing responses. Reaction to mine was overwhelmingly positive. Beauty YouTuber Nikki the Jagger, I think, recently came out as transgender online too. Do you think YouTubers can be under pressure to publicly come out? I think Nikki was incredibly brave, and as someone so influential with millions of viewers, I think it will really help with any young people questioning their own identity. They'll be like, wow, she's like me. Let's see. Best thing about VidCon is meeting the people that watch my videos in real life. Online comments are nice, but to hear people's stories face to face is even better. Very cool. Very, very neat. He's got a good head on his shoulders. I'll say that. Like, listening to his answers to these are very thoughtful. Very wise. He's been around the block in the influencer game. That's awesome. Very, very cool. Yeah, it is. It's obviously different. Of course, YouTube is very different. And, most of us, at least, well, a good portion of us, judging by demographic information from YouTube, have seen the progression of influencers from nothingness, something. Now it's just everywhere. It's kind of interesting. It was a thing that has sprouted up last couple years. And I believe, let me look this up real quick. I believe influencer is the number one career choice that children have. Like, list of the top jobs kids want. Try to phrase that. What do kids want to be when they grow up? There we go. 2024. Okay. All right. So here's one. So for boys, it's athlete, doctor, YouTuber, 15%. Scientist, musician. For girls, doctor, teacher, musician, athlete, lawyer. Very interesting. So streamer, YouTuber, all children. Almost, well, basically 12%. Fascinating. That's over lawyer, actor, astronaut, police officer. That's kind of fascinating, isn't it? That is very fascinating. See if I can find a bit more. Top 15 dream job. Actor, musician, teacher, scientist, professional athlete, firefighter, detective. That's an interesting one. Detective or spy? Writer, police officer, astronaut. Kind of cool that astronaut is still a thing that kids want to do. Like, it seems like it wouldn't be. Just because astronauts have not been as popular as they were. So it's kind of interesting that it's so high. Pilot, veterinarian, lawyer, doctor. Interesting. The fact that professional athlete is so high is a little weird. I'm not going to lie. Number 1, dancer. Blame it on ballet class. Number 2, actor. Probably because, at that age, you're just consuming content. Whether it's YouTube Kids or Coco Melon and what is the one? Puppy Patrol or whatever. Like, you're just constantly consuming content. When kids watch television or a movie, they often dream of becoming the actor they see on the screen. It makes sense. Okay, this was from 2021. What do U.S. teens want to be when they grow up? This is from 3,600 U.S. teens, 13 to 17 years old. Males, 12% professional athlete, 11% YouTuber stream. Professional gamer, 6%. Doctor, nurse, 5%. Oh no. Oh. At least the females are a little more realistic here. Doctor, nurse, actress, musician, artist, then YouTuber streamer, 6%. Professional athlete. I mean, the number of professional athletes is so small. I think it's, at least in the US here, if you're an NCAA athlete, aka you're in university for a sport, 3% become professional athletes. 3% of that tiny number of university athletes. 3%. So for the majority of teens to want to be a professional athlete is wild to me. Absolutely wild. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed those as much as I did. It's been wonderful. Phil story with Steve the pigeon, amazing. Always cool to look at the 911 relationships and how well they handle those. Obviously, the big one of Bobby and Athena is really in turmoil right now, I guess is a light way to put it. Obviously, the buddy, will they, won't they, tug of war. Yeah. And I respect the heck out of YinWar. Like, what they're doing, what they're able to do, being rebels, if you will, in the industry. That is really cool. Really neat. They're bucking the traditions, I guess you could call them. That's really neat. And it's interesting to see where that goes. Very interested to see where that goes. So join me for the future iterations as we journey around your fandoms one video at a time. I appreciate you being here. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already. Follow the Twitch channel as well, so you can watch live. Join the chat, of course. And let's see. Check out the winter collection of merch, of course. Only, I think it's just over 19 days, if I remember correctly. And then we're bringing in the summer collection. I've been working hard on it. We've got most of the samples here, and I am very happy with them, very joyed. I've never received one sample that I didn't find was quality. It's weird. Like everything's been really amazing. So I'm very confident that you'll enjoy them when it launches. And of course, I'll be doing something for that. I haven't announced it yet, but I will. I will in time. Coming up fairly soon, actually, June 1st. But I'll get on that and then let you know. And join the Discord. Lots of amazing things happening in there. Over 226 members. Get us to 230. Will you be number 230? Let's see. And I hope you have a tremendous week ahead. Whether you just got done with school and you're in summer, hope you have a wonderful time off. Or maybe you're in summer school and then same old, same old. Or if you're working, I hope you have a good work week. And I will see you here on Friday. So, take care of yourselves. I will see you soon. Stay safe. Bye-bye.